So I could probably go ahead and do that and learn to play D&D.
Nice. Dan was saying something about that, and I said to him, I was trying to get, like, I'm one of those that has always been on the outskirts of it. Mm-hmm. And I was the one of my friends that always worked nights. I worked restaurants and such. So they always worked during the day, and they would get together on Friday and Saturday nights. So in theory, I know the game, but I've never actually played it. So tried to get a club together at school. We've had one game, just enough, we met one time. Right. And the young lady who was the D&D got herself in a little bit of trouble, and her mom had to take her and put her in a different school. So that did not last very long. So I've got this lovely little character that I have.
Yeah, all of a sudden, out of the blue, my daughter, 15-year-old daughter, said, I got an idea for us to do something. Okay, let's all play this and right. So I bought this starter kit. I have a starter kit, and I've been reading through it. It's got a lot of the basics. It's all just getting started. Like, it's a 5-hour campaign, or it could be a little bit longer.
skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the South holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the lands of new. Oh, na 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 na. That I have lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must go back before it's too late. You're afraid, you're feeling alone. Time and space can never unfold. The holidays can ring in your fear. The ghost embrace can all let me tears. And I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to lands of blue. Oh, na 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 na. Sitting at the lake, I'm feeling confused, but I had my guitar, so I played this blues. But I'm afraid, what might be true, that I might never be back again. Seems to me that I have lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must be back before it's too late. Before it's too late. Someone to take me down at night. Someone to make my day. New revelation fills my soul. Oh, I can waste away. You distracting my attention. You're all that's on my mind. You not looking for perfection, but you're too hard to find. Now the first night is coming, and I know what to do. You know that nothing feels sweeter than someone else.
Check. Yes, Scott. Are you on Chrome? You're on Chrome, it should work fine. Did you allow it access to your camera? I thought I just saw you actually. Yeah, just log off and log back in. Yeah, it just logged you off. Log back in.
All right. Where did my color go? Got your head in the sand. You can't be in control, using a powerful hand. I wanna be you, I wanna see you. Don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to tell me, don't try to say it's too late. You're gonna push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, hide a little color, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue, yeah. All right. Cat learns to ring a bell. Rat gets free from the maze. We can be taught to love. We've got to learn a new way. I wanna see you, I wanna be you. Don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late. Yeah, you're gonna push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shadows. Push me to the edge, add a little color, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue, yeah. I wanna be, I wanna see, don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late, late, late. Push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, add a little color, it's black and white and blue. white and blow. I've seen a lot of bankers, and I've seen a lot of cops. I've seen a lot of lawyers pull out all of the stops. I've seen a lot of children with their parents in their hands. I felt a lot of women who refuse to understand. And I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. I see it in the papers, read it every day. The riots and the fire going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take all your money, whatever else spring. And I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me. Such a fuss, and I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. 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 Took everything that I had, yeah. Walked away, but you left one thing behind. You're wondering just what that is. Yes, you are. And the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the wall comes tumbling down, I'll be there. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. We're gonna make a little love down by the water. Maybe I'm the sun, maybe I'm a daughter when the music man calls. That's when I gotta play. Yeah. all the things we never had. I'm burning with hate, with love. Spin around, round. 'Cause as a boy I had a dream. Carry it with me today. Yes, I do. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the walls come tumbling down, I'll be there. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the world comes tumbling down, I'll be there. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the South holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the lands of new. Oh, na 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 na.
Let's adjust this a little bit.
Hey,
What's up?
Let's adjust this a little bit.
we're here.
And sorry about that, everybody. We had some technical difficulties. And I got some other stuff going on. Let me remute this.
It was Gizmo the Gremlin.
Yeah, we had some issues. That's okay.
It was Gizmo the Gremlin.
Yeah. So how's it going, everybody? What's going on?
Good. Happy Friday, everybody.
Coming up on a weekend.
A little bit of an echo there, Daniel. Somebody.
Yeah, a little bit of an echo.
A little bit of an echo, Daniel. Somebody.
I think somebody's watching the replay.
Yeah, somebody watching something? Because somebody's got to put the volume down, or
Yeah, or mute that tab or something.
I don't hear it anymore.
yeah, it's
Okay.
gone now.
All right, cool.
Awesome. So, welcome to our Friday glitch service. The people that watch the show are used to mistakes and offhand stuff and everything, but thank you for everybody for joining us. First of all, I got to say thank you for everybody on a personal note for all the lovely comments on the YouTube talking about having my mother, and everybody knows what happened on Wednesday night. When my mother went to the hospital for surgery and we had to cancel the show. But we're working. I know you guys and girls that watch us every week, twice a week, love the show so much that we are actually working on another option, let's just say. So it looks like Eric is going to be trained as our official backup director. So we're gonna figure this out. So you will never ever happen to miss an AstroWorld episode ever again, as long as we're alive. So
Okay. As long as there's no gremlins on my side, it'll be fine.
exactly. I mean, hey, it's quite interesting that in the whole course of the past couple of years, we've only canceled a handful of shows, and but a lot of people want to hang out on Wednesday nights or Friday nights, and that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna get Eric all set up because he's got a new wicked computer, and he's gonna be doing that. So, whew. All right.
Yeah, it's full of power, 1.21 gigawatts.
Oh, 1.21
What's a gigawatt?
Let me see what we got here. So let me start with my little. Oh, this is the wrong one. Oh my goodness, I almost did the wrong
Eric.
PowerPoint.
Eric,
Yeah.
will that power my flux capacitor?
Oh yeah, I give I have Mr. Newcomb here. I feed it banana peels, all other kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the cost of gas
maybe out
these
a beer
days, you
can.
need that.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Mr. Fusion is sitting right over
Only-
here.
Only
Yeah, just throw it
8:17. We're already off the rails.
Yeah, we're already done. The show's already over. but first of all, I got to say again, thank you to all of our sponsors out there. And we just got another sponsor today, Paul Burkhardt. Thank you for the member sponsorship. First one, number 18. So thank you, Mr. Paul. Appreciate it. And what we're going to do now is, first of all, say thank you to our main sequence level sponsors, Woodland Hills Camera Telescopes and Night Skies Network, which is going to be something that we're going to be talking about pretty soon. So it's going to be, what's that?
I was just saying, full screen.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah, thanks. Also to our Red Giant level, thank you so much to Prima Luce Lab and Camera Concepts. And our Super Giant level, Masters of Pix Insight, and the guys at IP4AP. Thank you so much. And unfortunately, Paul, you're not on here yet. You'll be on here next week. So thank you to all of our members on a personal level. And if you would like to be a member, feel free to hit the join button on YouTube and join us, and you can support us, and all the money goes back to giveaways and stuff like that. So and you get t-shirts and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So
Josh was mentioning that your mic might be a little too hot. Dan, you may want to check it just in case.
Thank you. I'll do that. Is it blasting? Is it blasting? It's probably blasting.
It was rumbling a little bit.
A little hot.
Check. Yeah.
Hot there.
All right.
You can take it down even more, Daniel.
There we go. Oh, good.
Of course, I can't hear myself. So whatever the case may be. So tonight.
Now you're.
Yeah,
low.
we cannot hear you now.
Now
we can't hear you.
Now you can't hear me at all. Awesome.
Yeah, it's very low.
Barely. It's like. That's better.
How's that? Is that better? Or too much?
God. It's either feast or famine,
You're gonna blow out your
isn't it? Wow.
speakers.
How's
You
that?
blow out
Is that okay?
mine.
Is that better? Is that good? We good now?
No.
Wow.
No, we're
Gotta
not
come
good?
up a little bit.
You're like halfway between where you just had it.
I can't go halfway.
All right. Well,
Actually, it sounds
what is.
good to
There you
me.
go.
Yeah, it's
All right.
fine. Let's
Sounds
just move on, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that. We're having major glitch problems today. I don't know what the problem is, but tonight we do have Scott Roberts with us tonight, who is here for his second appearance on AstroWorld.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome to have Scott always. He always has a bunch of lovely stories. I promised everybody that you would tell the story about the eyepiece replacement that burned up in the house.
Oh
yeah. So
I actually have them right here. So
I know you do.
Hey Dan, go back full screen. You got Melon and everything going.
Check. I got.
yes, I keep these things in my office.
There you go.
I don't know if you can see.
Oh
those.
yeah. You have them in a glass case.
Oh yeah, he saved them
My
all.
glass case. They're very precious to me in a way, because it's a very sad story. The whole Paradise fire that happened in California was just crazy, and I've been to Paradise many times. It's just outside of Chico, California, kind of a mountain town, small town type of thing. And, so to think that it literally the entire town and most of its homes were wiped out in one single fire is just crazy. Wow. And I had friends and relatives that lived in the area, and when they were driving out, like their tires are melting on their vehicle. They don't know if they can get out.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can imagine just driving through, smoke, maybe flames, your tires are starting to melt. They melt and they pop, you're done. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
right. You got,
Yeah, for sure.
you got nothing you can't run through that. And so, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
What was interesting, Scott, is they found out what was the cause of that fire. And it turned out that PG&E,
Right.
the towers that actually hold the wires, there was a hook, a J hook. The hook had never been replaced in 15 years, and the wind kept moving it. So it started to erode, and it actually broke the J hook. The wire came down and it arced on the ground, and it started the fire. Just because it didn't go ahead and do a visual inspection to replace it. So all those homes,
a little hook. How much is this hook?
God, the hook's probably no more than $15 if that. But you can imagine the cost of the devastation, because it is. It's only like 100 miles from where I live, and it's
just material stuff. What was the cost to people's lives being changed and all of that? And you not having a home anymore, and all of your belongings burning to the ground. Now the eyepieces in question here, I think it was like a 24 millimeter wide angle and a 30 millimeter. And I mean, this one, you can see the aluminum body. Pull it down here a little bit. The aluminum body, there's like white, like bubbling up right here. That's glass. There's like some green here, which is also glass. And then there's like a piece of melted glass right here. I mean, this was a hot fire.
You can just imagine the heat.
Yeah.
The amount of heat. My gosh.
One of the things, and then this one completely burned the aluminum body. I mean, it's gone. Okay. The only thing that was left is the stainless steel barrel. There's a cake of optics that is kind of just melted and just solidified there. But, one of the things that we have, if on these eyepieces, if you buy them, you register them, you need to register them, okay? But you register your warranty, and you get a forever, no fault, transferable warranty.
That's awesome.
So if your house burns to the ground and you can find the smoldering remains of your Explore Scientific eyepieces and you return them to us, we replace them free of charge.
Wow. That's awesome.
So that's the deal. So you really wanted, I never, to be very, very honest with you, I never expected to see that exact scenario. Okay. And sadly it came to pass, but, I know that the individual was happy, to get replacements, and, hopefully he's back up, and maybe through insurance and, a good situation and getting another place. The people I know that had to have homes replaced and stuff, they're still, even now, still getting back on their feet, so just really a tough scenario.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I keep it on my desk as a reminder, to our commitment to customers and a lot of people that work at a company somehow think that the money comes from the company somehow magically, like, okay, money is growing there or something, all the money and your boss, okay, the one that can fire you instantly, you and all your employees, okay, is the customer.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand that, you don't understand the business that you're in. Okay. So, and our customers are part of a global community that are living a lifestyle of astronomy. And so you have to kind of think of yourself as someone who assists as an outfitter, you know?
Yep.
That's your role. And your role, okay, if you make products and
absolutely.
products and market products, you know, of course, you have all of that responsibility to take care of that. But if any of you came to work for me, the first thing I would tell you is that, look, we are all janitors for the brand, okay? We clean up the messes, we support the people that we are outfitting, and that is your job. And the quickest way to get yourself fired, there's a couple of ways. One is you steal from me. The other way is that you destroy a relationship with the customer.
Yeah.
Intentionally. And I've worked with people that actually really did intentionally try to destroy relationships just because they didn't like them. You know, there was like something, you know, they got their, you know, I mean, sometimes you run into people and you don't like them very much for whatever reason, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not, if you can't be professional enough to really follow through no matter what, then yeah, you really shouldn't work here. So
yeah,
right?
it's kind of great. Yeah, I always like that story
Great.
because, you know, it really shows your attention to detail and customer service and how Explore Scientific just excels in that. I believe you know you just won an award, if I remember right, regarding.
That's the other thing I keep on my desk.
Yeah.
We didn't just win it. This was 2018. And we won this from the Better Business Bureau, and it's called the Torch Award. And we are the only company in the history of our industry to actually win one. And it's for ethics and business. So, yeah.
That's completely awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I'm proud of that. And it, you know, of course, you know, I have the attitude, but in order to really make it work, all your employees have to have the attitude as well, you know, and you can't force that. You can't force it. They have to have it, you know.
It's all part of the culture of the business too. So I mean, you know,
exactly.
the internal culture that you built over there is just. I mean, I know some people that work for you. I know Tyler comes on the show every once in a while. You know, I'm telling you, it's you know, it's definitely nice. That's why I have your scopes and your eyepieces and your mounts, you know.
Thank you.
You know, so you know, absolutely.
I don't expect amateur astronomers to only buy my stuff, okay? But I do want to provide an interesting option for them where they can see the value in it and know that no matter what they get from us, we're going to support them. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, is there anything upcoming from Explore Scientific?
Always.
Always.
You could ask me a year or 2 years from now, is there something upcoming? The answer is yes.
Anything you can at least share right now. I know you all have R&D.
Well, I'll share something that no one has seen. Okay.
Oh boy.
AstroWorld exclusive.
There you go. I've not marketed it yet.
Okay.
All right. But.
Here we go.
This is small. Okay. This is small. It's a portable. Okay. But this is a Reflex Sight. Okay. Looks very much like the Telrad. Okay. It has. The thing that's different about this versus the Telrad is largely the target that's in it. Okay, instead of being solid lines, it has dots. Okay, so the stars can actually fit in between the dots, and it doesn't hide any of the star field. It has the kind of base that fits on most of the telescopes out there.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's got this base. We give you a cover. Okay, this cover can actually come off. That cover kind of goes back on it. It's simple. Okay. You'll notice that there are no real sharp lines here. I have a Telrad I've sold Telrads for decades. Okay. I knew Steve Kufeld. He was a friend.
Yep.
Okay. Very nice guy. But the improvements I wanted to make was I wanted to smooth off all the corners here, which we did. Okay. Because I've cut my head on a Telrad before. All right.
Oh yeah.
This has got sharp edges.
Yep.
This runs off of AAA batteries, okay? And like the Telrad, it runs for days, okay, without turning it off. So larger knobs, a little bit easier to get to knobs with gloves, okay? So it's just like my take on the Telrad device. And this is going to be ready probably sometime after summer for purchase.
Nice.
So, yeah.
There you go.
So that's something new.
That's awesome.
Now, am I working on other stuff that's substantially more expensive? Yes.
but nothing you can share.
Not ready.
Yeah, but nothing you can share. We understand that.
Yeah, but we do.
It's all top secret.
We have a few things. Yeah. So, but
Awesome.
once I see that it kind of a product's done, you know, I'm not going to mess with it anymore. Then I will share it. I used to do, when we were all going to star parties, I would take the prototypes to star parties and let people test it at a star party, you know, and just get their take on it. I'm not as secretive as some other companies are about products, you know, because they're so afraid. You know, one of the weird things I think about people in business is they are very secretive, wish they didn't have any competition. You know, they wish they had it all to themselves. And I think that is wrong thinking about being in business. You need to be in a category, okay, that is thriving and healthy and has competitors that are competing with each other, which is great, okay, because that drives innovation. But trying to do things and wishing that your competition is dead, okay, is absolutely wrong, because the more tent poles that you remove out of a category, pretty soon the whole thing just implodes. Right. And you know, I have stories, you know, watching. I mean, we watched the nature store business go implode, and that first started with a business called Natural Wonders that filed Chapter 13. And then right after that, Store of Knowledge went. Zany Brainy went. Learning Smith went. All these businesses that were, FAO Schwartz even went all the way down just to one store, right? And so the whole group of FAO Schwartz businesses went.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and then the last man standing, or last business standing, was Discovery Stores, and they were my account. Okay, now this whole category for Mead Instruments. All right, and so you got to layer on the other companies that were in this business selling our type of products to these nature stores. Just for Mead Instruments, it was $35 million a year annually. Okay. And Discovery Channel stores basically knew that number. And they thought that when all of these businesses went, that they would get all that business. Guess what really happened? People stopped shopping in those kinds of stores because they didn't see the variety anymore. They didn't see the category anymore. All right. So you couldn't just go into a AAA mall. You used to go into a AAA mall and you could see Natural Wonders, Discovery Channel, Store of Knowledge, and all of them had telescopes.
Yep.
Right? That's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So where do you get telescopes now? Largely now you buy them online. So that's where the category went to. And the business has grown over the years, but it taught me a lesson that you need to, the category needs to be healthy. So I always hope that our competitors are in doing well, and that they are innovating, and that they're taking care of their customers. Okay, because if they're not, then they're hurting our industry. They're hurting our category.
Yep.
So if you kind of think of it like that, you know. I mean, how
For
many
sure.
times have you went to go buy like tile or carpets or whatever, and you go to the part of town where there's store after store after store of tile stores, okay? It's because they have and how about Restaurant Row? Okay, you want to go to Restaurant Row, all right, because it's more fun, it's more vibrant. If there was only one restaurant on Restaurant Row, you're not going.
You're not going.
No. Yeah, you're not going. You're not
You're
going.
even home.
There's into Hogarth's point, you know, choice is good, variety is good.
It's absolutely.
Options
it's
are
the
good.
lifeblood of the category you're in is to have that variety. So
Exactly.
Yeah, if you don't have that kind of competition,
a good competitor in that regard.
Yeah, if you don't have that type of competition, number one, you know, supply chain notwithstanding issues. Usually, competition keeps the prices on a normal level. You know, whereas lack of competition will always inflate. So
that too. So you know, when you know, when other things happen and you know people are you know, not keeping things competitive, it's just a huge problem. It creates lots of ugly things. So.
It does. You know, and
the least of which would be mediocrity.
Mediocrity.
Say one more time.
Yeah.
And not the least of which would be mediocrity.
Right. Right. And
you get mediocre products. You get people who think they're done. You know, they found the answer. They're not looking for new options. They're not looking for new answers.
That's true. And so, and amateur astronomers are always looking for the next edge. What can they do now to find an exoplanet, for example? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us in amateur astronomy don't find exoplanets or don't do any exoplanet research, but some of them do, and some of them actually measure the dip of the brightness of the transiting exoplanet. They know how to do that. All right, well, that's pretty advanced stuff, and you do need some, you need great software for that. You need a good scope for that. You don't need a really big scope, but you need a good one, okay? And you need to know the technique, and so that's just a hint of why innovation is important. You know, we when we started the go-to system for Explore Scientific, the PMC8 system, one of the tenets of that is that I wanted it to be as user contributable as possible, or user co-created as possible, because there again, where I used to work, they had created 22 patents. Okay, they really did not want anyone else in the business to really have a viable go-to system. And with 22 patents, they were constantly in court suing, okay, other companies, which made it tough, you know.
Yeah.
Because you think, okay, a lot of people understand that this is a cottage industry. We don't have, you know, we're not like as big as, I think some people think that companies like, let's pick Celestron, which is the biggest in the business right now. Okay. They're nowhere near the size of a company like, I don't know, pick it.
Nikon.
Yeah, like a Nikon or a Canon.
Canon's huge. In one quarter, in one division.
Canon,
okay?
Nikon.
Canon does, and I'm talking about one division in the United States, okay? Not worldwide. One quarter, they do as much as the entire telescope industry does in all telescopes, from toy telescopes up to, think of plane wave and all of those, and all the cameras, CCD cameras, CMOS cameras, all the peripheral accessories, all the software, all of that business, okay? They do that in one quarter in one division at Canon.
Wow. That's incredible.
But, one thing is that Cap 4 said, we need someone to compete in the solar telescope market, to drive down costs there, because you don't have...
It's already driven down. It's already driven down. It's basically multi-million-dollar technology driven down to, what, a few $1,000s?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know?
I mean,
I know that amateur astronomers wish that they can have something really super high quality and maybe spend $1,000 or less, okay? but in order to get something that's super high quality that you could actually do research with, and I was just out today doing a live thing with my Lunt double stack, okay, with my blocking filter. It's a 50 millimeter aperture. Okay, I was getting an incredible view of the sun. You know, seeing prominences, blowing away people, and you know, to have that kind of technology that you can actually afford, okay, is mind blowing. Yeah. Because that is multi-million-dollar technology. Digital imaging, again, another one. I remember being at Palomar in the early '80s and looking at some of the cameras that they were attaching to the 200-inch telescope at that time. Each one of these things were like $6 and $7 million for a camera, okay? And an amateur camera today could blow it away.
Yeah.
So, you know, and they didn't have near the software. They didn't have something called PixInsight. They didn't have gurus out there to fall back on. You know, they're just trying to collect some photons so that they can see a supernova from a distant galaxy, okay? Or to collect the spectra.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty
amateur
awesome.
astronomers have taken that, and the telescope industry has taken ideas from that and technology from that and has made it affordable. And so I would say, you know, I don't know how long you've been into the business yet, Dan, but in the 1980s, I sold a Celestron 80 millimeter refractor on an Alt-Az mount, okay, for $500. 500, okay, and I could not keep them in stock back then. It's 500 then dollars. I don't know what that's up to. That now
$1,200 now,
right? So maybe it's 800 or 900 or $1,000 today. But an 80 millimeter refractor today you can buy for like $399. Okay, are you kidding me?
No, I know.
I mean that's the price of like a 60 millimeter refractor scaled up to, you know. I mean it's so. Astronomy gear today is cheaper than it's ever been, ever. Okay. And so it's, you know, could someone come up with a solar telescope that's cheaper somehow? Maybe, but I would say quality would suffer. That's a very difficult. Making etalons is an art. I mean, it is really
very
amazing
specific
that they can even make them in production.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually, you know, I'm actually looking to just buy myself an inexpensive solar finder, you know, just so I can get started with my little, you know, with my 8-inch Schmidt, you know, because I have the little the film filter over it, not to do anything special. I just wanted to be able to say, hey, I can see the sun.
Yeah,
you know, I can film the sun. You know.
You know, they do sell the paper, the batter paper for it. Little Mylar kind of thing they could slip over the front if you want.
Yeah, and that's what I actually have, the Celestron, the one that actually fits over, you know, kind of like the dust cap. You know,
I'm talking about the finder, the 80 millimeter.
Oh, little. Okay.
Yeah, so you can get the paper and put it over the front. It's like $40 a sheet. You put it on the front.
Is that Daystar? Is that what that is?
It's made out by Batter Planetarium, from what I know. It's actually a sheet of paper that you just.
It's Mylar, isn't it? Mylar.
It's Mylar. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's aluminized or metallized.
Yeah.
Metallized film is what it is.
Yeah, it's a cheap way to kind of get around it. Yeah.
Optical makes it. Batter makes it. You know, those are the Mylar types or film, plastic film type of filters, but there's also glass filters. 1000 Oaks is probably one of the last holdouts to actually make them.
Yep.
You know, so, but you know, a good wildlife filter is great for, you know, if you're going to go chasing cliffs or something, and you just want to get the phases, and then of course you're going to pull them off for the totality. But
Josh actually asked a question which I don't know the answer to. I have no idea. Speaking of solar, how many pinholes would you expect on a new glass solar filter?
You know, we have a customer that bought a glass solar filter from us. I think it's the same customer. that's asking the question. And do I have a number in my, that's written down somewhere? Oh yeah, if there's 15 pinholes or 1 pinhole or 100 pinholes, what's the threshold? I think that this is my take on it. If you're nervous about your solar filter,
don't use it.
Do not use it.
Yeah.
If it's new and you're nervous, return it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you can. I mean, there's ways to get around it. You can put flat black on it, and stuff like that. But some pinholes are not going to harm your vision. It's certainly not going to blow up your camera. Okay. But if you're nervous, don't take any chances. I mean, it's like, you and I are going to go skydiving or something, and you're just nervous to go skydiving. So
my parachute's not going to work.
Do it. Stay in the plane.
And by the way, we have confirmation it is the same customer. So
yeah, because because I was actually looking at
out there that's nervous about these pinholes.
Yeah.
Don't even think twice about it. Return it. Okay.
Yep. Send it back.
Yeah.
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 Because
we don't manufacture the glass solar filters, and if I have a customer that's unhappy with one, I have no qualms about returning it to the manufacturer that I bought it from. So.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because I'm actually looking at that Teleview solar finder, I think you call it.
Yeah, actually, that's nice. It's a nice little
device. It is nice.
Yeah, just something so I can, so I'm not looking up at the sky, of course.
Okay, so I'll teach you a trick. Okay, in fact, probably all of you guys know this trick, but basically what I do is I keep the lens caps on my telescope, and then I just look at the shadow on the ground. And I adjust my scope and RA and deck until I see the skinniest shadow. Okay. If I throw in a low power eyepiece, most of the time the sun's right in the eyepiece at that time.
Yeah, that's yeah. So it's easier. It's easier to do with longer telescopes. But absolutely. Because if you got a Schmidt that's kind of like, a little compact, it's tough to get that shadow right. But he's exactly right. You're gonna be pretty darn close. And if you're really lazy like me, you could spend about $14 and get something. This is out of my closet.
That's actually a good device that he's got.
Yeah. This comes out of my closet of death, and this is called the Heliopod. And basically all it does is you point. You have a graph here, and well, it's all plastic. Okay. And the light shines from the sun through this little pinhole.
Yep.
And reflects on the grid.
Okay.
So once you get the sun in the hole in the center, you're pretty darn close.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what that Teleview solar finder kind of looks like.
Well, the Teleview solar finder is a little bit more advanced, than this 3D
printed. It looks kind of like that though, but it looked like that though.
Yeah, that same idea. You're right.
Yeah, it is.
It's just better made.
Yeah, it's better made.
They're instead of plastic, it's metal.
Yeah, this is they actually Heliopod doesn't even make these anymore. They don't really make them anymore.
I think Soul Seeker or
Soul Searcher.
Soul Searcher. I got one of those just because, like, when you're taking a bunch of 14-year-olds out to look at the sun, you got about 14 seconds to get the sun in the eyepiece, or they're like everywhere. So right. I mean, like, I didn't have time. I'm telling you, I think it was probably one of the best $25 that I've spent. And it was, I mean, the same thing as what you got there, Dan. It took that process, and I was able to get it in like 15 seconds. I'm like, this is what I need. So.
Right.
Yeah. The reason I was bringing this up is because, I've seen so many more. Like recently, I saw a lot of solar, photographs that have been coming out, and I believe even when we were on your show, just earlier this week, there was a gentleman showing him. He was showing processing through Photoshop his solar images. And this kind of made me start thinking about, I really want to try to do this at some point, because maybe every once in a while I may not get, the greatest night sky or clear night, but you know, every once in a while, hey, you've got a clear day, you know, that's cloud free, and you can always, you know, aim at the sun and do some photography and do some, you know, solar imaging that way. So I would like to, you know, be able to use my telescope more than just at night is what I'm really getting at. Sure.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I would say that the more time you were spending with your telescope, the better astronomer you're going to be, you know, because after a while, your equipment starts to become second nature to you, you know, and just like someone that's into, you know, rock climbing or whatever they're into, the gear that they use, basically they want that to like disappear almost. It's so familiar to them, you know, it's an extension of themselves. And it's at that point that the rock climber is just, you know, they're just on they're climbing the rock face, right? They're not thinking about all the little gear and, oh, wow, you know, which brand, they're not thinking of that stuff. They're thinking about the adventure and that they're on and the exploring that they're doing. And that's what astronomers should be doing, you know. You need gear that is dependable enough for you, that and precision enough for you to get what you need, and you need to become so familiar with it that it disappears, and that takes time. You know, that takes time.
It does.
So,
it does. It does. Absolutely.
There is a little bit of one of the things that we talk about a lot in this forum is how do we get people to the point, you know, where they can justify spending tens of thousands of dollars, you know, and you're not going to, you know, most people aren't going to do that right away. You know, you have to get somebody that is willing to, you know, put a little bit of money, but they need to get to where they have success.
Yeah.
You know, they can get out, they can have success. Maybe they've got their kids, you know, and they can get out, they can be that visual, be it EAA, be it photography, be it whatever. But a lot of people look at the cost of some of the stuff that we're talking about, and before you know it, $7,000-8,000, you know, down the road, and they just throw their hands up like,
okay, but
I can't do it. You know,
we have a motorcycle event that comes here every year. Okay, it's called Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. About 800,000 motorcycles come in. Not one of those bikes costs less than 10 grand. Okay. Not one. Not one. I go to the lake and I see guys with their fishing boats. There's not one boat that costs less than 10 grand. People that go on. I mean, you want to take your family on a ski vacation. You want to go to Breckenridge in Colorado. What is that going to cost?
But Scott, you know, what are the demographics of those people?
It's like a one weekend deal, right? Thousands.
Yeah. So, the demographics of those people, the people that are kind of older established.
That investment, if they're really going to be in our lifestyle, okay, this isn't just a novelty, okay, but they're actually going to be in the lifestyle of being an astronomer. Our gear to us is very inexpensive, okay, and a great long-lasting investment. Probably an investment that would last us. If it's electronic, okay, maybe it lasts less than 20 years, okay? But if it's optical, you're going to be handing it down to your grandkids, okay?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
True. Yeah, that is true.
That's true.
That is very true.
We speak about. Yeah, I think Scott. I think it's your mic, Scott.
Sorry.
I think it's your mic. It's echoing back into the speakers because every time I mute you, it goes away.
All I hear right now.
Yeah, it's coming through over there. That's okay. It's all right.
It's okay. We can work with it.
Yeah, I don't know why.
We can live with it.
Yeah, we'll be fine. But
I totally agree. You know, with the optics that I have, you know, these telescopes. I hope, you know, that I can get my kids involved at some point. You know, or even my grandkids, if, you know, my kids will give me grandkids, you know, and pass it down to them, because I'd love to pass down the RASA and this C8 Edge and, you know, and this refractor, and let them, you know, and I feel good to know that it's going, you know, that they're actually going to use it, and you know, and they're going to get as much enjoyment out of it as I am, you know. So,
yeah,
sure.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, so if I talk to any of you, you know, if we get to spend time, you know, one-on-one, and I talk to you, and how astronomy has helped you. Okay, like during whatever crazy time that you might have in your life, and the peace and the perspective, all of that stuff that you get out of astronomy. I mean, that. I mean, you can either spend megabucks on a therapist, okay?
Yeah.
Or you can get out
which
under
some of
a
us do.
Milky Way and start to
Yeah.
go, okay, this is what the big picture is. My problems are now shrinking, okay? They're shrinking, and I'm feeling peace, okay? So that is it. And you can do that through astrophotography. You can do that through visual work. You can do it with a telescope. You can do it without a telescope. I recommend that you try it all, okay? Because it's really amazing. And then let's look at our community. How amazing is the community of people? I mean, you're not going to find a more honest, sharing, diverse group than you'll find in amateur astronomy. If
Agreed.
You start looking around the world, you're going to find that almost everybody, every age, men, women, everybody from every culture, okay, it's interested in the stars, in space, and trying to figure out where we're all from.
Exactly.
I don't get myself out too awfully much, out and about, out of my yard. But when I do, I have yet to see a person that is not just like drawn to like a magnet. They're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What have you got going on there? They want to know and they're interested. I don't think anybody has ever looked at, and said like, that's boring, and just not interested. It's like, it just catches them.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. That's true. And we experienced that even today. We were at an art museum with our solar telescopes up and everything. And it was cool because we had like little kids come and start teaching us about the sun. Okay. We had people that were older that had never looked through a telescope at anything ever. Okay. And they were getting their first view and H alpha of the sun, so I thought that was really cool. But it was kind of just the way that, people kind of genuflect over, our place in the world and, how that contrasts right now with the, with the troubles we got going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
So certainly we need people more focused on the good things out there. And I would say astronomy is a good thing. So
What we need is we need to have more celestial events per year. Case in point, 2 years ago, we had the comet. 2 years from now, we get the total eclipse. But if we had more events, because remember the great American 2017 eclipse, people were lined up getting glasses because everybody knew that this was a big event. It's just a shame that we just get these events few and far between. If we had more of them, people would definitely flock to this hobby.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I mean, you get every once in a while you'll have events like the solar eclipse, or like a Neowise, perhaps something like that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's unfortunately, that there's these events and these things don't happen often enough. And the ones that do happen often enough, like the meteor showers and stuff like that, a lot of people don't know about them, or there's not much, advertising or things like that, or did you know this is happening type of stuff out there, that's being put out there. So you can have these regular, people, understanding, hey, back in the day, we used to do this stuff. This was it was our entertainment. Our entertainment back in the day was looking at the stars or imagining and stuff like that.
Eric,
it really was.
We used to only have 3
guys,
TV.
I have to say
Exactly.
I have to say something right now. We're getting a lot of echo, and there's a lot of static here, and the audience can hear it, I think.
Yeah.
So,
not sure where it's coming from.
I'm gonna mute myself.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna reboot this real quick. So it might flash for a second. Okay, give me 1 second.
Okay.
we still have a problem, Houston.
goodness. Goodness.
Yeah, and it's you know, I mute everybody, and then when I mute you, Scott, it goes away. So that's okay. That's all I can do. Yeah, I think
Try logging out, logging in.
no,
Yeah.
it's not that.
And Gideon says it's R2 Dan 2.
Yeah. There you go.
Basically, it's coming from Starlink's
Yeah.
satellites all over the sky.
And maybe it's coming from my side. I don't know. You know,
Maybe.
I could log out.
I think it's because you're on the tablet that it's going in.
Who knows?
But that's okay.
Do you have YouTube running, Scott?
Right.
I don't. I got a headset on. So.
But I
One
want to
cool-
thank you guys for having me on the show today. And
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I don't know if there's any other questions, but the distortion's a little bit too much right now.
Okay.
So, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well, thank you
no
very
problem.
much. And
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
We all
looking
Thank
forward
you,
to
Scott.
having you guys back on Global Star Party. So
Okay.
take care.
Yeah, we'll be there Tuesday night with Scott.
Thank you.
We'll be to the Tuesday night with Scott on the bottom.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Right.
Care.
I am not sure what happened with that.
Not sure. Anything now?
I don't hear
How's,
it.
how's
Yeah,
it
I
sound
don't hear
now,
it
right?
either.
It's gone.
Guys, tell me what the sounds is like now, please.
Fine.
It seems fine now.
Yeah, you know what? He had some problems logging on, and that's why we were late. But he had to use a tablet, and I think the sound from the tablet was feedbacking through. And because I tried to stay on top of it, I was every time somebody talked, I started to mute them. But then when I had to let it go on, people started talking over him. It just got worse. So
Yeah.
Scott, I apologize about that. I promise you, we'll figure this out for next time. And you know, but thank you. If you're still watching, Scott, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming on again for your second time. You're a 2-timer now. We'll make you a 3-timer.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. Oh, so I gotta say, not you know, I didn't want to say much because I knew every time I spoke, it just kind of went blah, 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 and it was just like a big mess. But you know, I gotta say something. Astronomy aside, I'm sorry. I'm just so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Oh my goodness.
It came today. The tower's in here. I didn't even open it up yet, but it came. The Return to Dark Tower, the game. And if you don't know what Dark Tower is, go look at it because I spent so much money on this. I got the expansion sets. I got another expansion set. I got all this stuff going on. 2 years it took for this as a Kickstarter. But I'm sorry. You know what? I'm going to do a live unboxing because I want to see what the tower looks like.
Oh my gosh. All right. So anyway.
It's a D&D thing.
Yeah, no. You know what's coming up that's pretty cool that's coming up next month that I just kind of learned about some of this stuff. We're going to have a black moon.
We are.
What on earth is a black moon?
A black moon, if you don't know what a black moon is when you have 2 new moons in the same month.
Really?
It's called a blue moon.
So we're
Blue
going
moon.
to have,
Blue moon. That's a blue moon.
It's a blue moon.
It's called a blue moon? I thought it was
Yeah.
called a black
When
moon.
you have 2 full moons in a month, is a blue moon.
It's a blue
Yeah,
moon.
because
Yes.
you have 2 new moons.
But if you have 2 new
So
moons,
yeah, because that's what I was. Okay, so it's a blue moon. I thought it was a black moon, but yeah. So we have new moon coming up, around April 1st, and then we have it again on the 30th.
And the same thing. Right after that weekend is the other. Right before that is the Messier Marathon again. So,
Oh yes, and now they've been talking a lot about the Messier Marathon. Coming up. Yeah, so that's
Well,
6
we
months.
need to work on-
April. It's in April as well.
we need to work on marketing some of these like everyday astronomy things. I mean, so before Scott left us, you guys are saying how like, we don't have enough stuff going on. But if you're out there on social media at all, it does not take much to get people excited. We need some good astronomy marketing campaigns. We need to get out there and market, like, get everybody hyped about some of the stuff that we're hyped about. And honestly, like, just having like, the super beaver moon or whatever, if one person posts it, it goes viral all over the internet and everybody's like, yay, it's beaver moon,
the beaver, the blood moon, the witch moon, the cow moon,
and it's not anything, and of course a full moon, for most astronomers, unless you do lunar photography or, visually, that's not our friend. But everybody, they get like, 30,000 likes, like, yay, wolf moon. We just need to market this stuff better, I think. We need it's out there better.
I agree. Well, you're the teacher and you're all about outreach. So, I mean,
I'm working on it. I honestly, a lot of the outreach is like, I'm just not really sure how to, because never having been to star parties, never have, everything I've learned on my own. And, until we actually had that Zoom, like when I met you guys in Neath, like I was just like in heaven because I had never really been around people that did astronomy at all. So that was the first time I actually got to talk to humans, not on the internet. So like I said, I've never been to these things. I don't know how to do it, because I've never been to one, if that makes sense.
Right. Absolutely.
Like what does a star party look like? I have no idea. I've seen pictures of them. so that's kind of been for me, like, how do I do this? I don't know. And then before you invite students to something like this, you want to have all those, those things worked out, because God forbid, the kids show up and you have equipment problems and bad weather and, like, what do you do when you have a bunch of kids and then you got nothing to show them? So, but as far as marketing this stuff, we do. We need to be like, you know what? We're going to get really excited about the Messier Marathon. Get it out there. Hey, everybody. And, and most of the internet will probably be like, wow, I've never heard of that before.
Well, you know what you could do, and I'm gonna do a shameless plug here. You know what you could do? There's a lovely list every month. If you sign up to the AstroWorld newsletter, you'll get it. so you can do that. I do what I do with the newsletter. I choose, and you guys are gonna start getting involved. So I don't think you're not getting involved. but every month we're going to be choosing 3 objects, one for the beginner, advanced, and intermediate astrophotographer, and a list of all the astronomical events for the month and all the star parties over the next 3 months.
Nice.
So it's in the works. I'm trying to figure out a better way to distribute it all. And yes, Eric, I know you're right. I see it. He wants to say it. I'm getting here. Hold on. Eric, hold on. I got something to tell you. Hold on a second. There you go. No, Eric was right. I heard incorrectly. I heard full moon in my head. I didn't hear new moon, but Eric is exactly right. 2 new moons is a black moon. 2 full moons is a blue moon. Yes, Eric, you were right, Eric.
But no, what I was going to say, no, because Al had a question.
Okay.
He's thinking about getting an observatory for the yard. What are people using? And this is a fun one for me because I am actually still in the progress of working on this. There's different types actually that you can look into. There's
a bunch of different types.
There's a bunch, but you're talking about small observatories. I would think of top them off my head. I would think of 3. I would think of a small roll off. You can use a shed, and create your own little small roll off roof observatory. Yep. A sky shed pod.
Yep.
Or a next dome. Those are the big 3. I mean, there's others like Exploradome, but it also depends on your budget. Now, Scott, for me, a roll-off roof, depending on the type you get, you can build a roll-off roof pretty inexpensively.
I'm going to throw another one in there, Eric.
On the size, though, because you can do them for like under $2,000. It just depends.
I got to throw in one more in there because it's a little bit more on the expensive side as far as those are concerned. But the PureTech ones, are really nice.
I'll tell you something, though. The PureTechs are expensive because they're made of aluminum. And
Yeah.
aluminum has gotten really expensive now with everything going on.
Yeah, I know.
I actually called over to PureTech because PureTech is in Bartlett, Illinois, which is maybe just about an hour away from where I live, maybe an hour, hour and a half from where I live. And their smallest is 6x6.
Yeah. Yep.
Was around $10,000, 10 or 12, 10 or 11,000. That's the quote I was given. Was around 10 or 11,000 when I called them directly. Those 10th observatories, I've heard of them. Those you don't see a lot of them, but I've heard of those 10th observatories. Kendrick, I believe Kendrick had one.
Kendrick has one. I don't think they make them anymore.
I don't think they make them anymore. But you can even go on eBay. I mean, sometimes eBay even sells some knockoff type, and you can look at those. But a roll-off is usually pretty decently priced if you spec one out. I was actually looking at doing a resin shed, like those Skycast or Rubbermaid sheds. A lot of people have been, I've seen quite a few people making inexpensive roll-off roof observatories.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, right now, that is true, Cap. Wood prices are crazy right now. They're insane. But another one that I have been looking at is the Sky Shed Pod. And TJ has one. TJ Conley has one. There are others that I know have them. Who is it? Astro Backyard. He just recently got one, I think, last year. Stuff like that. So they're out there, but but you can get, there are some pretty popular ones out there that aren't too expensive compared to, the stuff we spend on our scopes.
And Pete, I know. Yeah, Pete, I was going to just tap on you for a little bit because you know quite a bit about this as well.
Yeah, please.
Well, I was going to say is that I'm going to put a plug in for a very good friend called Chris White. He's an astrophotographer up in Vermont. And if you just go on Cloudy Nights, he literally has a 2-page dossier of what he started with, and it will show you step by step of the roll-off roof that he did, showing you exactly the layout, the design, pouring the concrete, putting in the pier, doing the drainage, everything. And if you just go to Cloudy Nights, type in Chris White home observatory. It's an incredible little step-by-step procedure that he goes through that, because you're right. I mean, Eric, case in point where you're at, I mean, Vito, I can reach out to Vito at PureTech because I do a lot of work with him. And, as I said, those are nice because they're aluminum, right? You don't have to worry about, termites. You don't have to worry about treating the wood or anything like that. And I mean, once again, buy once, cry once. You know that thing is going to last, but you're right. The cost of aluminum has gone up, but believe me, in the long run, the metal would definitely be the way to go.
Yeah, trust me, I totally agree with you. If it was in my budget, maybe my retirement budget, but in my budget right now, having kids.
Yeah, they're expensive. When
I kick the kids out.
Yeah, no. Hey, listen. Like we talk about this all the time on the show. Sometimes you just want to. You want to build a roll-off roof, you want to do it yourself, that's okay, because, it's going to work for you. You just do it right. And to Pete's point, go check out Chris White. I've read Chris White's article on Cloudy Nights, and it's incredible what he's put together. And it's amazing. Not a lot of people would throw themselves out there and put their whole plans on a public site. And he's done it, and it looks great. I mean, it looks awesome.
You know what I should do is I'll send Chris White an email, and I'll ask him if maybe we can have him come on the show to talk about the building of his observatory.
I think that'd be great.
How do you think, Eric? Would that help you? Because I know you're planning something like that, Eric. But if you think that it would be good, I can reach out to Chris on that.
You know what? I think that would be great, and not just for me, but I think just for our viewers as well, because we do have people who are interested in home observatories and stuff, and roll-off roofs and other types. So I think it would be, beneficial. I think it'd be a really good conversation to have.
So you got 5 people in the chat that said yes, please.
Okay, then I'll reach out to Chris, and I'll see when I'll have you get in touch with them then, Dan.
Yeah, and just so you know, we did pick up Eric as a guest.
Oh, good.
Eric Coles.
Yep, that's going to be something.
So Eric Coles is an astrophotographer, and he is also one of the founding members of the Astro Imaging channel.
Oh, awesome.
So that's going to be quite interesting. He's going to be on May 13th. It's a Friday night, 8 p.m. So May 13th will be Eric Coles, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I wasn't sure which one he was until I looked him up in a picture finally, and and I looked him up, and there was a picture of him with Molly and the rest of the guys from TAIC, and and I was like, now I know who you are. I was like, no, I spent about a half an hour on the phone with him. Really nice gentleman, and
Very good gentleman.
yeah,
he's amazing. If you've ever seen his work, you go to AstroBin and you type in Eric Coles. Unbelievable work. So I asked him to talk about his workflow, and he's got some great ideas. And so Dan, I'm kind of glad you reached out to him, because he'll be a wealth of knowledge for the membership.
Yeah, he's going to be on again May 13th, so that's going to be a lot of fun. That's the week after Charles Bracken. I think it's 5. Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be incredible. Have Charles Bracken and Eric Coles.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're working on a couple others. So it's going to be it's going to be an interesting summer. We may not be able to take a couple of weeks off. We may be
I agree with Gideon also. Gideon made a comment. If
Mabula,
if there is any way, I would love that personally, because I use APP quite a bit.
Well, Eric, if I can be honest with you, Mabula, it would be good. He and Dr. Christian Sassy have done a lot of work on APP. So if we wanted to, Christian would be a good guy, because of the thing about Mabula, which is good, and this is no disrespect to him. It's the language barrier that the dialect. It's just a little bit hard at times for Mabula. Whereas with Christian, we'll get Christian back on, and he'll go through an APP, because he's actually worked with Mabula for doing post processing for a lot of their members at iTelescopes.
Yes, they have. I do see quite a bit. I have seen on iTelescope a lot of information pointing back to APP. So no, I agree. No, that would be interesting. That would be cool. Did we lose Pete?
Yeah, Pete disappeared. Now we got 2 Petes.
Now we got 2 Petes.
Oh, really?
We got a Pete and repeat.
There we go.
We got a tale of 2 Petes.
Yeah,
and and actually, John G had a question that's flying up the line here regarding focal length and pixel size.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that we go over, I don't know, at least 2 or 3 times a month. Regarding,
you know what? Friday's the time that this is.
I know this is the beginner. It's supposed to be the beginner's chat, but so pixel size and focal length, and just rule of thumb. It doesn't work all the time, but rule of thumb: bigger pixels, longer focal length. It's just a rule of thumb. It doesn't work all the time. However, if you go to astronomy.tools, and I'll see if I can share my screen real quick, because I like.
Gideon already put it up.
He did?
Yes, he did.
He put the link up.
You put the link up.
So there we go. So I'll go like this, and I'll slide it over here, and we'll do desktop display number 1. There we go. So here's astronomy.tools. Everybody can see that? Yes, no?
Yes, yep. Just expand now.
There you go.
Maximize, there you go.
Whoa.
Hello, Infinity.
There you go.
Infinity.
There we go. Astronomy.tools. And so if you ever want to find out how your camera, one of the things a lot of people don't do is they just buy the camera, buy a telescope, and hope everything works without doing the due diligence of, well, you know what? Sometimes, it's like, what I think of, it's like eating like crab. Eating crab. I like eating crab. I love eating crab. But a table fork isn't going to work with opening those crab legs. You need a small fork to get that stuff in, and it's got to be the right tool for the right job.
Exactly.
And that's the point that I'm trying to make. So here is a tool here that's free that you could go in there and see if you're going to get the right tool for the right job. So the first thing you could do is go right under here onto calculators and go into CCD suitability. Once you go here and you go down to the bottom, you can put in whatever scope you want, whatever camera you want, be dreadfully honest on your seeing, because that does make a difference. Okay. So New York is probably somewhere in here, okay to poor. Maybe Eric's in the okay area, and like Mark Ellis and Jason would probably be between good and okay over in the desert of Arizona.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you don't know what scope you're going to get, you can put the focal length, whatever you want to do, it'll go. And the pixel size, you can do it manually for custom camera, custom scope.
Yep. And don't forget, if you're using a Barlow or a reducer, make sure you have that in there.
That's going to affect. So let's just say what I just put together. I put together a ZWO. I put together a 183 and a Red Cat. Okay. So let's do that. Let's go to the William Optics, and we'll look for the Red Cat. And Red Cat.
There it is.
Okay. And the ZWO 183. And 183. And I'm not using a Barlow reducer. I'm not binning and whatever. So this gets me to 1.98 arc seconds per pixel, which Pete, correct me if I'm wrong, the threshold should be about 2.
Yep, close to 2. Yep, 2 arc seconds per pixel.
Mm-hmm. So if you're not over 2, and again, if you want just a visual aspect of it, if you're in the green, you're good. If you're in the red or the blue, if I change this to a different camera, now I'm in towards the red, this is going to give you slight undersampling, which you're going to start to get boxy stars. The stars are going to start to look boxy. The more to the red you go, the more boxy the stars are going to be, and you're going to have to kind of fix that with either heavy dithering and drizzling, which is a lot of work, or just be very, very wide field and deal with the boxy stars later because you're not pixel peeping. However, on the other side, when you're to the purple and the blue side, that means you're oversampling, which your stars will start to get bloat, which is also fixable by star reduction.
Now, that's something I did not know about, Dan, when I first started. So I can definitely, attest to that. I didn't, when I first started buying my equipment, I had no idea what that sample size, what the sampling was. And I ended up with a 70 millimeter scope and the camera I got the 294. And I'm very undersampled, so I have to drizzle. I have to. I mean, there is no way about it, or else I look like I've got Minecraft blocks on. So thankfully, I can fix it. And it took me a little while to figure out what exactly I was doing wrong and why I looked like I was building something in Minecraft. But it just is what it is. So thankfully, drizzling does it. The computer I was using at the time, I had a really hard time, and it was. I think I've told you guys that one, the little HP Pavilion just was not cutting it for a drizzle integration. And there was a few times that it just shut down. I was like, nope, we're not having any part of this one. So so it is fixable. But if I had known right from the giddy up, I could have avoided that. So yeah, I wish I'd known that this calculator was out there.
Yeah, I'll tell you. This picture behind me was so undersampled. I was using the KAF 8300 CCD chip for my STF 8300 from SBIG on a what was it? I think it was on an 80. It was on an 80 millimeter scope at 400 millimeters. So my this is what my stars look like. That's what my stars look like. Oh, maybe. All right. Well, maybe like that. That's what my stars look like. I didn't have no problem, but that's what my stars look like. And let me tell you something. This is before I had a decent computer, and you could attest to this, Jess.
Mm-hmm.
When you got to drizzle, and you got to drizzle 4 channels LRGB, it takes days. It took me days. I did every one channel every time I went to bed.
Yeah, that's what I've done. Yep, just set it
and that's why
I'll go grocery shopping. I'll come back and it's still doing its thing.
Yeah, and that's why Pete is a big proponent of oversampling as opposed to undersampling, because correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, it's a lot easier to fix than unless it's yeah. All you got to do is squash the stars down instead of dealing with dithering and drizzling and all this other. So much stuff you have no idea. If you've never drizzled or dithered, there is so much stuff that could go wrong very easily that you don't even know what's going on. You're already halfway through your process and you're like, oh my God, my stars suck. Whoops, sorry. But and that's what happens. But Pete's exactly right when he says that oversampling is definitely more preferable to undersampling. They're both fixable. Just one takes more than the other.
Yeah, I had been doing it for so long. It just got to be such a habit, and it took me a little while to realize why I was drizzle. That you had to do in Pixel Sight, you had to do that drizzle integration separately.
Yep.
I was going through this process of dithering and all this stuff, and I accidentally I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And then when it first ran that first drizzle integration, I mean, I saw the difference, of course, side by side. I was like,
oh yeah.
But here I have been doing it and going, I don't know what all the talk is about because I'm not seeing any difference in my stars at all. And it turns out I wasn't actually doing it. I just thought I was.
No, you drizzled, you dithered, but you didn't integrate anything. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So but once I first did that, and again, my computer was just like, was not happy with that. But then I got the 952, which was a much better match. And I I drizzle. I went through the whole drizzle integration process anyway. And I'm like, I think I did that 2 or 3 times before I realized I don't have to do this anymore. This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
There is one exception to the having resolution less than 0.7. And if you're doing planets, typically if you're doing planets, because they're so small and you got to get resolution, you can get down like say 0.30 arc seconds, but at that point you can't overcome seeing. It's just a physical law. You can't overcome seeing. So typically, if you're doing planets, and I don't think none of us here really do any planetary imaging, do we? We're all DSO.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
So that would just be left up to the planetary people that want to get down to that fine resolution. But that's the problem now with these cameras. They're making these pixels so freaking small. And I know that now we start talking about scopes that are greater than 1200 millimeters in focal length, that you're right, you got to have larger pixel size. And now when we're up at 1500 millimeters, we got to have a pixel size of at least 9 microns by 9 microns. And there's only one camera that I'm aware of right now that's commercially available, and that's from Moravian, and that's their C4 16,000 camera.
Yep.
Beautiful camera. But yeah, that's the camera that I always try to push on those high-end focal length scopes.
Yeah. Just for a couple things we have to do tonight before the show ends. Oh no, here we go with the picture again.
Oh Lord.
Nobody can. We have a bunch of giveaways to give away tonight. So we got a Masters of Pixel Sight tutorial class free. We have a $50 gift certificate to Camera Concepts. And we're missing one other thing. Is that it? No, that's just those 2 tonight. So we got those. We got to give away tonight. Because we missed originally, it was supposed to be the 3rd Wednesday. We had a guest that day and we didn't do it. So we got to do that. I got to tell everybody, listen, everybody who's watching, because we had 42 people watching tonight at peak. So before we start losing a lot of people, because I know it's starting to get late. But if you haven't, if you signed up for the newsletter, please re-sign up for any giveaway. I got a lot of people that wanted the newsletter but didn't want to be in the giveaways or wanted certain giveaways and not the other ones. So I made a bunch of different entries, and it may seem a little bit much. And I know if you want all 4 of them, it's kind of annoying. But do me a favor. If you want to be in all 4 of them, please re-register, and please only register 1 email. I saw a couple of people in that had registered twice under 2 different emails just because I know their email. Just please only register once. So it gives everybody a fair chance to win. So do me a favor with that. You haven't gotten a newsletter, Rob? If you haven't gotten one, maybe you signed up. We only had 1 so far. If you want, I'll send it to you. You might have signed up after I sent out the first one. If that's the case, I could send you a reissue. And you'll definitely be on the list if you signed up for the second one. So that's not a problem. But just please sign up individually for all four. And if you want to take a look, and if I could do this really quick, image display, and then quick play, and I need a third monitor, I think. I really do. I really think I do, because I don't have enough. I need the mainstream, I need my push screen, and then I need all the other stuff that I'm doing. But if you go to the website, okay? If you go to the website and then you go down,
full screen it. There,
you're killing me. Come on, I can't do everything. Jeez. There you go. That's why I need a third screen. So you got the special guests. Oh, by the way, our new picture of the week.
Oh, Mark Ellis.
Our new picture of the week. Eric, Mark Ellis got 30% of the vote. And if you want to be involved in the next picture of the week, it's open now, and I'll show you how to get in there. You could hit submit your own image here, right? And then you go in and you just click use your email and submit an image. That's it. You can do it all right here. There's no going into a Google Cloud or Google whatever. But these are the two that are up for so far. So we got Dave Schaefer's Iris Nebula and Chris Setness Star Trails.
Nice.
So
nice. Look at that.
Yeah. So those are the two that are up for it right now. We only have two. So good job to Mark on his win. So that makes Mark eligible to win the picture of the month, to be in the month of March's AstroWorld calendar. So that's going to be an interesting thing. And if you just click vote, it won't work for me because I'm not supposed to vote, but you can choose whichever one you want to vote for and then vote, and it'll give you yeah, whoops.
It did. What did you do?
Yeah, well, I'll delete mine, but there you go. I'll delete mine, but there's David. So, and it'll tell you a running total. And if you go back later on, you can only vote once. So you can say you've already voted. If I go back in, it'll say I already voted. Hopefully, see you have already voted. Let's see the results. And there's only one right now. So there's David Schaefer. So you can keep on putting your photos in until 11:59 on Monday. Okay. Voting starts and opens on 12:01 Tuesday to 5 p.m. Thursday, and we'll announce it on the Friday show. So, and if you want bigger pictures of the little prior, you could just click on them and they get bigger.
Very cool, man.
Okay. So what I wanted to show you really before well, not that. I don't want to show you that. So down at the bottom, here's all our giveaways. So the reason why I'm concerned is that we got 16 entries here for Woodland Hills. We got 12 for the Pix Insight. We have 25 for, by the way, the Eagle has been confirmed. The Eagle has been confirmed. It's going to be an Eagle 4.
Wow.
Not only that, it's going to be an Eagle 4 Pro. This is an AstroWorld exclusive. Okay, check this out. And I'm gonna go back to regular screen real quick, because I want everybody to see my wonderful face when I say this. Because so this Eagle, this is going to be one of only two in the world. Okay. First thing, it's going to be an Eagle 4 Wi-Fi 6, 2 terabyte with a 980 Samsung Pro drive, boosted up to 32 meg of RAM.
Wow.
And it's going to be black. It's going to be black with red writing. And there's only going to be one other one, and Tom's keeping it. So so this is an AstroWorld exclusive, one of a kind Eagle.
Wow.
And it's free to enter. So it's not a raffle, it's free to enter. and you just come on in. And again, trust me, I will be watching the emails. I watch them every day. So please let everybody be fair. I know we're on the honor system here, but be fair. 1 email per entry, but go check it out. It's going to be awesome.
Tom corrected you because you said megabytes. It's gig. 32 gig of memory on this thing.
Hey,
No,
Tom,
I'm sorry. It was 32 bytes. I'm sorry, 32 bytes of RAM. Sorry. Yes.
kudos to Tom and Primalucci. Believe me. Thanks, Tom.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing.
That is amazing. 2 terabyte, 32 gig of RAM.
Yep, 32 gig of RAM. Yes, not 32 meg. I apologize. I was just so excited. I think mega, you know, and I got stuck in my head. But anyway, but yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Tom is putting it all together himself and making it available to us. So thank you to Tom and Prima Lucha Labs. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. Let me tell you, Tom gave me a video. I'm wondering if I can play it. Let me see if I can play it real quick.
Wi-Fi 6 as well.
Yep, Wi-Fi 6. Wi-Fi 6.
Yeah, he's not messing around. He's going on.
No, and he's working night and day on this for us. So I gotta thank him so much. But here you go. You ready? Now, you're not going to be able to see this because it's too damn small. Okay, but okay, so let me see if I can. I'm going to change the focus on here. So let me see if I can. All right.
Just send the video to your computer.
Yeah, but it's not it's not a problem. Okay. Okay, so here you go. So here's the Eagle, right? This is the login to the Eagle on a tablet, right? Now I'm gonna raise the volume on it. What I want you for you Eagle users out there, this is from turn on to the beep. So the beep is when the Eagle Manager boots up and you got Wi-Fi, right? Here you go. You'll hear the beep. Hold on. There's the beep. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Did you hear the beep? 12-second boot up time. 12-second boot up time.
That is fast.
And now I'm out of focus.
Now you're out of focus. Way to go there, man.
But
I think it's an improvement.
Oh, jeez. You guys, I can't take you anywhere.
Oh, man, I kind of like the soft focus. It's a little bit better.
Yeah. I'll go.
It's almost like a mask. It's, nice and like a fuzzy mask.
Yeah, there we go. Look at that soft focus. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
What an ugly looking mug.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Oh my.
But no, that is awesome. Thank you, Tom. That is from Prima Luce Labs. That is awesome. I can't wait to honestly. I can't wait to give that away. I can't wait till we give that away. That's going to be incredible.
Okay, so for I'm sorry, I gotta realize for our international watchers that apparently are not able. I'm hearing that they can't log in their email. Email me directly with your email address at dan@astroworldweb.com. Okay. So if you can't get in for whatever reason, whether the IP is not matching up or something, email me your address and your name and I'll put you in. Okay. I didn't go to Queens, Captain. Man, these guys are brutal. These guys are brutal. They're asking me what I hate more. I should have never said I made that video because everybody's watching. It's gone viral in the past. Like it's gone crazy because I think somebody counted the amount of times I cursed in that video. It's something over like 35 times, and it's only 2 minutes.
Hey, Dan, don't we have another giveaway from Jerry Valdez?
We do. And so Jerry Valdez, one of our watchers and a personal friend of Pete, decided that he wanted to make some sort of donation to the show, and he loves it so much, and he wanted to donate to us. And he has donated a 1-year subscription to Creative Cloud.
Adobe Photoshop
Creative Cloud. So it's full blown $120 about or therefore, and it's going to be awesome. So we're giving that away probably next week. I think we'll do it next week. Yeah, maybe we'll do it with Bob Denny. We'll do it with Bob Denny.
Yeah, let's just do it with Bob Denny.
Yeah, we'll do it. That's on April 6th, if I remember right.
Okay.
So we'll do it with Bob Denny, and so I got to throw that up on the website for that for everybody. So if you want Creative Cloud, you can register for that one too. So that'll be 5 giveaways.
That's awesome.
What else? So let's roll. Let's roll the wheel. How about that? Let's roll the wheel.
All right. Yes, Gideon, we're about to roll the wheel. We're
gonna roll the wheel.
Drum roll, please.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah. See, that's why I need a fourth one. There we go. So this is the wheel for the IP for AP. Bigger. Yes, bigger. It's bigger now.
There you go.
So
holy cow! Wait
What's
a minute.
that?
Does that look like Gideon has like just one big piece of the pie?
No, it's not. It's a space. See that space? That space means it goes back to AstroWorld. That's what that means.
So, it doesn't look like that. Like there was this one big blue piece of the pie, for Gideon.
God forbid it lands on this piece here. We'll roll again. I mean, I can't figure out. There's a glitch in this that I can't get that one piece out. So this is for the IP for AP MOP giveaway. This is for a free Masters of PixInsight class. Okay, and the next one is coming up. I believe it's April 20th, if I remember right. So if you want it, I'll put you in touch with Pete, and he'll give you a voucher for the free class. So here we go. You ready?
Hit it.
No whammies, no whammies. Watch it land on it. Okay. And winner is Donald Walker. Congratulations, Donald.
Congrats.
I will send you an email with all the information and put you in contact with Pete Proul over at IP for AP and Masters of PixInsight, and you will get your voucher for your free class at Masters of PixInsight. So congratulations to Donald. And because it's also a different one, it looks the same, but it's not. This is for the Camera Concepts giveaway of a $50 gift certificate to Camera Concepts.
All right. No
Here we
whammies.
go. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop! And Dank Solo.
Thanks, Solo.
Dank Solo, $50 to Camera Concepts. So congratulations, Dank Solo. Awesome. So I better write that down because I will forget.
Yes, you will.
Oh my God! It's too early in the day. The Prevagen has not started working yet.
You need to take your jellyfish pills now.
I do.
Taking them a long time ago.
$50 to CCTS to Dang Solo and MOP to Donald Walker.
Yep.
All right. So expect an email from these guys to you sometime in the next 24 to 48.
Solo, you are a winner.
Yep. And that is awesome. So there you go, Dank.
Hey, Scott, Cap's asking, did you finish the ramp yet? Have you finished that ramp yet for your tank?
Come on, we want to see those first images.
Yeah, I didn't build the ramp. I just bought the stupid thing. Yeah, the ramp showed up. The first one it looked like a tank had run over it. The second one showed up and it was in pretty good shape. I've had it outside and set up. That's not the problem. I can get the scope out there. That's all well and good. The problem is I don't have any freaking gaskets for my SHO filters.
Yeah, you're still waiting for those, man?
Yeah, I am still waiting on those stupid gaskets.
Holy
Yeah.
Kalani, are you kidding me? Are they that dense?
Wow.
That's
Joyce,
horrible.
I talked to
Man, this has
Joyce.
been like what, a month?
I
2
talked to
months?
Joyce this morning at Farpoint, and she said she put them in an envelope, put a stamp on them, and mailed to me on Monday. Well, it's Friday.
Monday from where?
Yeah, really.
California, Sacramento.
California.
Oh
Still.
man,
U.S.
Wow,
mail. U.S.
that's
mail.
horrible.
They're in a little tiny. They're in a letter envelope, little tiny letter envelope. These things are little tiny things. That huge telescope rig is all being held up because of a couple of 39-cent freaking gaskets.
Oh man.
That's wow. Wow.
See, you know what? They're just getting back at you because you bought a manual filter wheel.
You're gonna have to bleep this one out. No.
No, I won't do that. I already put on the YouTube site that it has some random curse words that so
Gestures.
yeah, a little gesture.
Oh, wrong finger. Sorry.
But yeah, so
It's crazy that it takes 3 weeks. 3
Yeah,
weeks.
that's it's like a month. I'm like, my gosh.
No, it's not just that. They sent me the wrong gaskets to begin with. Then they sent me the right gaskets at the wrong quantity.
Yeah.
And now they've sent me the right quantity, but they haven't showed up yet.
They haven't showed up yet.
unbelievable.
That's typical OS.
Yeah, Cap's point. Sounds like a government job.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's typical OSI.
Oh man.
Unbelievable.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
That's
God.
insane.
The
Let me
good
change
news
it.
is, though, I spent all last weekend cleaning out my my garden. So I rented a chipper, and I got rid of a whole bunch of wood. I got rid of a whole bunch of brush, cleaned it all out, got all my crepe myrtles trimmed up, so I can see even better now.
Nice.
Damn scope to use.
Now you just need to
It looks like I may have some actual clear skies on the 29th.
yeah, you will. Yeah,
It looks
because
like
I'll have them first, and then you'll get them.
I mean, this is just ridiculous. So let me throw this out to the team for a little. I got a question because I have not shot with the Schmidt in probably 15 plus years.
Okay.
Now I have in my possession a 9 1/4 Evolution with a QHY 128 full frame camera. So I'm trying to think what I should do with this for now because I can't totally change things on this because it's not really my scope. You know what I'm talking about. But I'm thinking about using it for maybe an EAA type thing for the show for a while, and just throwing it up there and streaming it, and that's it.
You got the producers and everything?
I don't yet. It's easily gettable. I could easily get one. That's not a problem. But right now it's still at F10. It's got a manual focuser that I can't change out. I mean, I could, but it's just not mine, so I won't. But it's got a feather touch manual focuser. I could use a Batinov mask or whatever, and I can do that. But I was just wondering any thoughts on kind of doing that because. I mean, I'm just going to go alt as on it. I'm not even going to go on polar alignment. I'm just going to do really quick shots.
Yeah. I've never tried, my EAA has always been with my roster, so it's at F2 and it's fast. I've never tried EAA, with any really longer focal length. So
It's just slower.
It's going to be slow, yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Slow, but really, how slow? When you're doing EAA, how slow? Really?
Yeah,
target, I think.
I mean, I would tell you it depends on the target. He said.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll get the reducer. I'll get down to F7. And that's fine. But I'm just wondering if there's anything I should be aware of besides just manual focus. I mean, I think that's it.
When's the last time it was collimated?
I just did it. I did it 2 days ago.
Okay.
I just put Bob's knobs on it, and I recollimated. I would saw some great images of M42 with it, visually.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Speaking of Bob's knobs, have you heard about there being more of a tendency to have to collimate more often with using Bob's knobs versus not using
All right. So the only thing that Bob's knobs is different about than your standard whatever hex or Phillips head screws is that most of Bob's knobs, there are some that are not, but most of them are nylon. Okay. Now I'll tell you this: if you're doing imaging on a Schmidt, and I did it for many, many years. I haven't done it in 15 years, but I've done it for many. Every single time I imaged, I collimated before I started imaging anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, what does collimation take?
It doesn't take that long.
A couple of minutes.
If you're good at it.
Yeah, no, if you're used to it, a couple of minutes.
You're used to it. That's the big thing especially with new users, like even with me, because I posted that video a while back on my on Astro with Eric. It can be a struggle, for people who are just getting started. You get really confused, which is why I also recommended, getting the Tribatanoff mask to help out with it. And remembering, if you tighten or loosen one, you have to do the opposite to the other two.
Correct.
Stuff like that. So it's but the biggest thing that was my struggle with collimation was that it never failed that I have to collimate in the middle of the while in the winter, and my hands are so cold in this Illinois Midwest weather that it's gotten to the point, honestly, that I've really started to think about getting some types of maybe thumb screws or something like that, or instead. Scott, you're shaking your head. No.
I found a better solution. Leave the factory screws in there. I've heard some horror stories about the Bob's knobs and this and that. I have a set. I haven't used them, and I don't think I'm going to. If you go onto Amazon, you can get a nylon tipped cross point screwdriver that will not mar your glass.
Interesting.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah. It's got the nylon tips on the end. Yeah.
Yeah, and that way you're not going to run the risk of damaging your corrector plate because it's a nylon tip screwdriver. It's not like you're putting heavy amounts of torque on those stupid screws. All you need is just a little bit of turn on, and you're good. The nylon tip screwdriver will do you just fine.
Okay.
And just so we're on the same page here, for visual astronomy, for our visual astronomers out there, if we have any, Bob's knobs will work fine for visual.
Yeah.
I've been using Bob's knobs for my Dobbs for forever, and I've never had a problem with it. And I'll be dead honest with you, I've had them on my 8-inch Schmidt when I was doing imaging as well. And as long as you stay, I'm a little anal, so maybe I just I was crazy about it, so I did it every night. I collimated every night. Every night I imaged, I collimated. So I always thought that it was going to be off somewhere. I wasn't sure if that was in a problem with the Bob's knobs being not torqued down enough, or weather temperature, or whatever else that may be out there that may be causing a difference in collimation. Maybe I just didn't, cool down the scope long enough. Who knows? But that being said, you got to kind of, I've heard that also as well, where Bob's knobs, you have to collimate more. But if you're collimating every night like I did when you're using Schmidt's, I just did. And that's why we always tell everybody on the show, a lot of people start with 8-inch Schmidt's as an entry-level kind of thing.
Absolutely. That's where I started getting that next R8SE.
Absolutely. And everybody gets that, either 6 or 8, mostly 8. And here's the thing, though. When you start to move, people sometimes move. They're moving a lot more rapidly at this point to the photography part really fast, because they see and they look and they see the planets. But when you start to look at M42, M31, if you're in a situation like I am here in Bortle 8 or more, you're seeing a little smudge and you're unimpressed. You're totally unimpressed.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to go jump to EAA or jump to actual photography. And here's where it comes in, where now you're sitting there and, well, now you're on an alt-az mount. Well, now you're screwed. Now you got to get a wedge or an EQ mount, right? But when you're sitting there and you're doing that, and if you're collimating every once in a while because you're just doing visual, you will realize no matter what you do, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm okay to be wrong. I really don't care. But when you're doing photography with the Schmidt, you should collimate before you start imaging. I think you should.
Yeah, you should, but it gets to it. But honestly, I really, really think sometimes you shouldn't have to collimate that necessarily every night.
Well, let me preface this with something. If you're on a pier and you're on a permanent setup and you're whatever, I would agree with you. However, if you're taking that scope down every night and resetting it up every night,
because now you're moving it around quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're driving to a dark site. It's bouncing around in the case. It's
That's
doing
different.
And those are the people that I'm trying to talk to right now, not the ones that have a 14-inch Schmidt on a rainbow mount that you wheel out and waiting for gaskets. But I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to the people that are literally the hard truckers that are sitting there every night, build up, tear down, drive to the beach, whatever it is. Those are the people that I'm kind of talking to, because you know what? You are jarring things. You are moving things.
Eric, did you use your 8SE? Were you using that for AP, or did you end up with something else before you started doing the photography?
No, my first images were with the 8SE.
Okay.
That's where I got hooked. My very first images were M51 and the Alba Nebula. And they were very fuzzy, they weren't stacked. I had no idea. I just grabbed my little Canon T3 DSLR. I bought the little, T mount and everything, and I did it, and bam, I got those little fuzz balls, and that was it. I was hooked. Then the very next thing I did after that, I started watching, YouTube for so much, and then everywhere I heard was to get a small refractor. And that's exactly what I did. And then that's where, and then I was off to the races.
Yeah, that sounds very similar, because I had the 6SE. I think it was the same thing. Yeah. Okay. I was wondering. I didn't know if you were any more successful with it than I had been, because just to tell you, just like how bad it was when I first did it. The first time I put my camera in there, I think it's what eyepiece projection. Yeah, I had so little idea that it was just it was awful. But again, it still got hooked. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you use the 8SE right now at all, or are you?
I use it for visual. I only use it for visual now, and it's when when it gets a little warmer out, and I really don't mind being outside. I'll take it out, and then and I'll grab the kids and my youngest, and we'll go out and we'll do some visual. But I'll be honest with you, ever since if we've gotten the RASA, we've really gotten into EAA. Sorry, EAA, and he just goes. Especially with that ASI Air, he just goes and says, "All right, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go here," and then he just has a ball.
You know what we just got today at Camera Concepts?
What's that?
Stellina. And it's coming here. In my crappy Polaroid skies. It's coming here. I'm testing it out for Stellina. And we're getting 4 of them. So,
oh my gosh.
hey, you know what? It's for those people out there that just want to do EAA and
yeah, well, that's true.
That's
they don't really care. They don't really care. Yeah. They just want to, and honestly, there is a market out there.
Yep.
And there I can see a need, because
there is a need.
As you get older, your eyes get worse, your eyes get bad, and especially if you're in certain under certain types of sky conditions, you know, the Stellina makes sense because you're trying to make out, you know, some of these images in the system, but you know they're all fuzzy and you can't see a darn thing. You're like, really, what is that? Am I really looking at M13 or is that just a dust ball?
Yeah, that's all it is. I got to get the dust bunnies out of that. Somebody give me that blower.
Did I clean the optics well enough? Did I get a dust bunny on my corrector plate?
Let me tell you, you know what, and you're right, because you know what, that's exactly what M13 looks like from Long Island. It looks like a cataract. You know, that's what it looks like. And you know what, the best I ever saw M13, believe it or not, was from Long Island. Believe it or not.
Wow.
The best I ever, actually, it wasn't from Long Island. It was from Wyndham, New York. Best I ever seen it. What was it? About 20 years ago. The New York blackout. The New York blackout occurred maybe 25 years ago at this point. And, you know, me and my father and my brother were going up to Wyndham to play golf. And I said, I'm taking my 8-inch LX200. I don't care. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to see some stuff. And so I'm never going to see this again. So I'm going to go up there. On the third day of the trip, lights go out. Everything's out. There's not a light in New York State.
It's Eastern Seaboard.
Let me tell you. Well, I don't care about them. I just care about New York. But you know, there was no light anywhere. And so, sure enough, I took out my 8-inch. My aunt was there. My uncle was there. My brother was there. My father was there. And let me tell you, I was able to resolve the core in M13 visually.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. I'll never see that again. I'll never see that again. Not for New York. Not for New York anyway. But unbelievable.
Yeah. But, you know, the 8SC is awesome. The Stellina, you know, because it's a great entry level visual telescope. It is so it's great. The Stellina, again, it does have its place, you know. For me, maybe I'm just one of those guys that I like to do the work. You know,
yeah, you know, Beatrice just said the same thing.
I like the adventure, but to Beatrice's point, I know it'll be great for outreach. It's great for kids. It's great to have that instant gratification, you know, to resolve, you know, M1 or, you know, any other deep sky object. I'm for sure, you know, it does have its place. It's just personally, I don't know if it's for me.
Hey,
it might be for my kids though, because they get so bored so fast. They be like, I just want to look at it and then I can go.
Yeah, Scott, do you have a link for those screwdrivers?
Yeah, the nylon tip screwdriver.
The nylon screwdrivers. Can you send that on the? No, yeah. Can you send it on the AstroWorld admins and I'll copy paste?
Yeah.
Can you do that? The picture ain't gonna help me, man. I already got cataracts. I can't see what you're doing. So, we'll Carol. We'll get you the link on that right now. He's gonna send it to me
for sure. You know, alone, me, I'm out there, you know, just me, you know, and I've got my eyepieces and I'm gone. But yeah, with the kids and family and stuff like that, or people who really don't get astronomy, the Stellina is probably fantastic. It's probably a fantastic,
you know what? I think you're right, Eric. I think that there really is a place for it. Personally, I wouldn't buy one.
Right.
You know, but you know, because all of us here, and this is going to come out the wrong way, so excuse me for those people out there that I'm going to offend before I even say anything. We do real astrophotography where we use bigger equipment, we go deep, we do whatever. I mean, it's not EAA, it's more of, you know, get more data, and throw it all together. And 30 hours later, I got a picture, not including the post-processing, whatever. And I got to agree with Beatrice. It's all about the process, because once you're done with that and you did everything that you did the DBE, you did the drizzle integration, you did the cropping, you did the curves, you did the dark lane enhancement, you did all this stuff. and you figure this stuff out, and you come up with a picture that you painted this picture, it's some sort of, I mean, I get a huge like sense of accomplishment
Absolutely.
that I can't get anywhere else. And Stelina is not going to give that to me. It will give me the, oh wow, that's kind of cool that I could do this. I just got to spend $4,000 to do it. You know, I mean, but you know what? If I'm doing the outreach, and if I got the kids that are only going to be out for like 30 minutes and they're going to cry, they're going to want to go play Roblox, whatever, that you got to catch the enthusiasm while it's there. And they're not going to want to sit there for 17 and a half hours while you're gathering data.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I mean, I remember seeing it, and I was, when it first came out, I was still, spending a lot of time, saying very not nice words at my equipment. And I remember looking at that, I'm like, that's not real astrophotography. This is, and just, like as I'm stomping around and trying to figure out what's not going right, I'm like, this is not the way to do it. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, not everybody's going to want to put the time that we're putting into it, but they still want to, they still want to be able to go out and enjoy it. And, especially for younger, with the younger kids, they grew up on Hubble. They're not going to be as wowed by a little smudge and visually in a telescope, as maybe we would. I know, like we're going to, even if, we go and look at that, I think, we're all kind of caught. We're going to be like, oh, wow, look at that, but, this next generation of kids and, even the young adults will say they grew up on Hubble. So they're used to seeing these big, bright, colorful images, so let me say, I just, in thinking about it later on, seeing with the Stellina was the Evo scope. Is that one is that right?
Yeah, the Evo, yep.
The Evo scope. And seeing those going, I mean, if you have the money, of course, to put into it, but that's kind of open it up to people who want to enjoy astrophotography, but don't want to put in all that time and all the frustration and don't want to spend, because I know, the time we spend in, collecting the data, then the time processing, so the time we spend collecting the data, the time we spend processing, and then the time we spend trying to figure out how to do it all and figure out what the problems are, so there's like so much time that goes into it. So you've really got to be into it to do this. So, I think having those scopes, if somebody has the money for it, I mean, not just for outreach, but for somebody who wants to do astrophotography, but doesn't want to, live that wild and crazy astrophotography lifestyle. So
it fits a niche, but I think as Eric will attest, as Dan will attest, and Scott, when we look at your photos, we now get a chance to play Van Gogh or Picasso. Case in point, if we look at the images of the elephant trunk, remember that elephant trunk that had that purple and the black, and we thought, wow, it's so different because we think that this is the way it should look, but because you are the artist now, you can create it how you want to be. So we definitely get that opportunity now to play artist, and the palette is our raw data. So you're absolutely right. I mean, those Stellinas and those kind of equipment, they suffice a niche, but for what we do, it's the pride of what we do. We don't mind putting the effort in because only we can appreciate how much time it came in. When we have those images where we go, ooh, those moments, you look at that image and it just blows your socks off.
Yeah. And you know what would been so really cool. You know how a lot of kids, especially like maybe in junior high before they graduate, at least here, they used to, they would go and do a trip like to Washington, D.C. A lot of those, it would be really cool. Instead of taking them to Washington to D.C., take them to Arizona or Utah or New Mexico and let them hang out for a week in one of those in Zion or Bryce Canyon or in New Mexico or in and look at where we came from and take some appreciation, not just of the monuments that are in Washington, D.C., but look at the natural monuments that we have that we all freaking take for granted. And that here on the East Coast and east of the Mississippi, we can't see it. East of the Mississippi, you can forget about, trying to see skies and having nights like they do over on the West Coast and and in the Southwest.
You could literally draw a line down the middle of the United States.
If you take a look at the dark sky map, you can see.
I mean, it makes no sense how, it makes completely no sense.
Yeah. But the idea is that you can do scientific research, you can do spectrophotometry, you can do pretty pictures. This hobby allows you as the individual to do whatever you want to do. You want to do citizen science, you want to look for asteroids, you want to find comets. It's incredible. This hobby allows the general public to do so much now, and you can find your own little niche with whatever you choose to do. I think the majority of the people like to look at the pretty pictures because the fact that, even as Scott was saying, optics now, the quality of the optics, the fast scopes now, and the resolution of these cameras. I mean, we are in the golden age of this hobby. It's just incredible that, the cameras now are so much better than the CMOS technology than they were 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible what they used on the Palomar and up at Mount Wilson as compared to what the average person is doing right now. Like the scope beside me right here, this is shooting better images than what you would get at a Palomar Mountain 25 years ago.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, it's with outreach, and with people that you're trying to reach that can see the benefit of the images that you can get, from Hubble and this and that. To be able to recreate that in your backyard, you have to be able to show that to them. You have to be able to give them the success with it, and you have to start somewhere. I mean, I've been in business for going on 18 years with graphic design and photography and this and that. And one of the things I tell people all the time is that you have to be able to show value for dollars, and if you've got people that are looking at value, they're not worried about dollars. People that are looking at dollars are not really looking at value. It's when you can make the switch where you can show them something for value, then they're willing to make that switch and give you the dollars for for what they're going to get in value. But you have to be able to give them something in success. And I have no experience with this what is it? Starlina?
Starlina.
Yeah, I have I know what it is, but I've never used it. Right. But if you can give something to somebody, show them within a reasonable amount of money. Most people aren't going to spend $25,000 on a setup. Most people wince at $5,000 for a setup, So, if you can show them something where they can put it in their backyard and get some success with it initially, then they start to see value. And if they get the bug, all of a sudden, it's my grandfather used to say it to me all the time. People do what they want to do. People spend money on the things they want to spend money on.
Yep. Absolutely.
And so that you have to start there. You have to give them something where they can have success.
Josh, I'm going to answer a question here real quick. Do you all blink for rejected images before or after calibration, or both? And if before, what are your limiting criteria? Well, there's a couple of things that I do. Yes, I blink, not with the calibrations, but I do blink all of my images.
He only uses PixInsight for blink. That's all he does.
Yeah, that's all I really use it for. But no, I've actually added on. And I would highly recommend you take a look at Amy Astro's videos, or even Visible Dark. He has some, I believe, for the subframe selector.
Yep.
I would highly recommend that combination of first looking visually with blink, then go into and then take those that you haven't rejected, then put those into subframe selector, and then there's certain formulae you have to enter in, and then let those get calculated. And then those are the images, or those are the FITS files that I will end up using after I do those two processes.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. And I'll go one step further on that with the calculations on subframe. My two criteria that I use are the FWHM and the eccentricity.
Eccentricity.
So that gives you smaller stars. So lower FWM is a tighter focus, right? So that will give you the smaller stars, and the eccentricity of it shows you the roundness of the star. So your eccentricity will give you rounder stars and in focus stars, because what happens is you could be in focus and still have oblong stars.
Yep.
So when it equals both, and I can't tell you a number of what to put in there because it's different for every setup.
It is, but I can give you some basics. You can give some basics.
Yeah, but it's going to be different.
Started.
No, well, yeah. So I mean, a basic to get started of an eccentricity of 0.7 is about where I kind of start at from my scope at the 127 range, which is 952 millimeter focal length. And then for an FWHM, I believe under 0.6, if I remember right.
Under 4, like less than 4.
I'm sorry, 3.6. 3.6.
Yeah.
Sorry, 3.6.
Yeah, usually like less than 4.
So it really depends on everybody's setup. What you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to do what Eric said, and blink first. See what you'll accept.
Yes.
As far as visually is concerned, take that, run that through subframe selector, get the numbers that would be for FWHM and eccentricity. Use those numbers on the entire batch, and then look at them again. That's what I do. That's what I do in order to do that.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain things you'll have to also do when you're doing subframe selector. There's certain parameters that you'll have to put in, such as the subframe scale, stuff like, and you have to take into account if you're using a reducer or not, because that will change certain things as far as your arc seconds per pixel, because you'll need that information. But yeah, then you can set up another one you have to do is your weighting. Weighting is another section that you'll have to put in.
Yep.
And that one usually is like SNR weight.
Yep. Signal noise ratio.
Weight. So.
Yep. So let me just go. I know Ron very, very well. I've taken many hours of lessons with Ron. And let me tell you, this guy is, when he's part of the Masters of Pixel Insight, there's a reason.
There's a reason.
Okay. So I'll tell you how Ron does things as far as the blink is concerned, because I've actually had this conversation with him. And if you blink, because when you're doing a project of, let's just take a random number, 15 plus hours of data. Okay. If you wait to blink, your eyes will dry out, like somebody said, because you'll be looking at these pictures. Now, Ron is able to blink things the next day. So what he does is he blinks stuff the next day before he takes the next round of pictures. So he blinks per night. Now, I don't. I just don't. Now, is there a better way or a worse way to do it? I've gotten some decent results using subframe selector. Now, whether they're better or not than just blinking, I don't know. My eyes are a little out of whack. So I kind of trust the algorithm in the computer to do it for me. So, I mean, it really depends on how much control that you want over your project. If you want the control of your project, blink everything every night and dump what you don't like.
Josh, I don't keep my rejected subs usually, because especially the ones that I visually inspect through Blink. There's a reason why I don't like them, so I usually, I'll toss them.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, that's just me. And does weighted batch pre-processing have any kind of frame rejection built into it? No, it does not.
No.
One cool thing that I kind of like about APP is that it will once you do your registration and when you choose your integration, you can say how much of a percentage of everything of all the registered frames and everything that's been checked, how many of those you want to necessarily keep. And then it looks, and it has a score that and I'm not sure how Mabula has done the calculations, but there's a certain score that it's giving for each FITS file. And you can set a percentage of the frames that you want to integrate. And based off of a certain score that's of those frames, it'll reject and it'll say, okay, these are the ones I'm going to integrate. These are the ones it will not. But so I kind of find that very interesting with APP.
All right, so we're getting a bunch of questions on Blink, believe it or not, which is good because you know what, this is the beginner's Q&A. So I'm going to bring up Blink real quick. And
John, the answer to your question, John, is it's both.
What was the
it is both. It's a program and it's a physical thing you do with your eyes.
Yes, it is. So let me just bring up Blink real quick for you. And desktop capture 2, quick play, and minimize this. And yes,
found under Pix Insight is found under image inspection. If you go to processes, image inspection, you'll find Blink.
Yeah, I'm too lazy to do that because I'll never remember that because again, the Prevagen does not work very well for me. So if you go into process and all processes and just go in alphabetical order to Blink, you'll find it. Or you could do what he said that was image inspection, then Blink.
Yeah, and they're also under there is also your subframe selector too.
Yeah, and if you go also under Process Explorer.
Thank you, Giddy. Yes, based on something. I don't know what, but it is. It's based on something.
Well, Process Explorer
how does the calculation.
Well, Process Explorer, if you used it before, it'll be in your recently used or most used. You could do that as well. So that being said, let's get rid of this guy because he's annoying. Okay, and here's Blink. This is what happens when you pull up Blink. It's just a blank screen, right? Well, you got to tell it what you want to blink. So let's go to a folder. Okay, and then we'll just, well, there you go. There's Thor's helmet. And we'll just open up all these guys. And you can open them all. And it'll load them all. And for the lack of time, so it's going to say, okay, you know what? Here are your 5 shots or 6 shots of Thor's helmet. And you could zoom in, you could zoom out, you could do whatever. You could add a histogram stretch, which will get it a little bit brighter for you. But you can go in, you could look in at the stars, you could look at the stars, you could go right and left, and you could just go right up and down. And by the way, that was a cosmic string there or a cosmic ray. But you could go right down the list and take a look and see what you don't like. Now, here's the thing with Blink. So you go down the list, and let's say this one I don't like. All of them look pretty good, actually. But let's say this one I don't like. One of the best things about this is you can move these using this to a new location. So let's say I want to move this, and I don't like this picture, and I'm going to add a new folder called Bad Data. Okay, and I'm going to add it to bad data. So now I'm going to select that folder, and now it's moved. So now if I go and I look at the folder, there's only 5 there, and the 6th one is now out of my good data, and now that's in bad data. So I know not to use that one. So now when I go into WBPP, I'll use these 5, dump it in WBPP, and then I know that these 5 are my good ones. And the bad one, just as I think Josh or somebody said about throwing out old data. I personally like keeping my old data a little bit. I dump it in, and I keep 1 or 2 that are really bad just to show people. But that's pretty much it. You can also play. You can play it like a movie. So if you want 1 second photo, you press play. It'll go through all your photos, and you just watch the screen. It'll play it. You can pause it. You can do some other things. Just remember, before you exit out of Blink, make sure you close all images. Because if you don't do that, this is what happens. If you just go out of it, let's say you have 100 files. and you dumped them all in Blink and you just got out of it. What's going to happen now? The next time you go into Blink, all your files will be there. Now you'll be trying to load up 100 of your past projects. So make sure you close all your files and then get out of it.
Yeah, when it comes to unacceptable and hard rejections, there are certain things that are hard, like say if for some reason my tracking was off, and now I'm getting trails, or my guiding was bad and I'm getting certain types of trails. That's when I'll definitely, and I'm getting those really elongated stars. That's when I'll usually toss those. But something like, say, maybe a satellite went through, or, like a satellite went through, I keep it because that's
It'll get rejected.
Going to get rejected. That was going to get rejected. But if, say, I was living, near O'Hare Airport and the 747 flew over while I was taking a shot, and I have this long streak, then that goes, that's going to get tossed, So it's real. And a lot of it is really up to you because remember, astrophotography is about you and you being the artist, you being the photographer and what you feel comfortable with. However, the goal is also to try to keep nice stars, keep nice tight stars. So if you don't feel comfortable with how those stars look, if they do look a little elongated or anything that you don't feel comfortable with, put them in the bad data folder.
Yep. There's once it's on chip bad, it's just time to dump it. It's just time to dump it. And you don't want to add bad data to good data. It never works out.
Yeah.
Just take another. If you got to take an extra night, take an extra night. Take an extra night and do it. You will be much more satisfied with the result. And in the beginning, you may throw out your first night. You may throw out half your data.
Yep.
You may throw it out.
All my data.
Oh, it happened. It happened.
I tossed my entire night.
I tossed an entire night of the Shark Nebula. I mean, yeah.
I'm trying to get more particular. I know there's been a few images, just like one or two subs I kind of get through when I'm doing a Blink, and because just a way to select them and move them, it's kind of, every so often one will kind of sneak through, and I found a few that just have those elongated stars, and just like one or two of them will just mess up the whole bunch. I mean, and if you don't have, because I'm not usually dealing with 10s, 20s. I'm like, if I can get over 3 or 4 hours, something, sometimes I'm pretty good. So just one or two of them could just mess the whole thing up.
Yeah, and that's where subframe selector would help you.
Now they had changed. I had been using that, but I want to say, it's been a while now. I kind of scrapped it because they changed the script a year and a half ago.
Yeah, they did. Amy Astro has been very, very mad about that. And she wrote a video about that. And that it was, she was like, they just changed it. I'm so tired. She actually went over how to work the new script of subframe selector. And it's really not as bad as you might think. It's not the cure all end all. It's just a tool in the toolbox. But it could say, it could make you start to look at your pictures on a different level, where you start looking at eccentricity of the stars and not worried about, how small they are, but how round they are. And you're sitting there and you look at it and you said, well, why did this one get rejected? And it makes you click on it to see it. And it's like that cookie in the cookie jar where your daddy told you not to take it. You're going to take that cookie. Just like the same thing in this, where you see something where it's telling you it's bad, you're going to want to know why. And then once you know why, and you start to look at it, then you can just sit there and go, I'm going to blink it. I can look at the stars and see that they're just a little bit off.
Now, did she do the video specifically on that?
She did the video specifically on the new one because she was mad that they changed it.
I want to check that out because I must.
I'm gonna have to check that one out again too.
Yeah, it was put out about a year and a half ago, about the same time.
Okay.
But just look for subframe selector and new subframe selector, and it's a good video. I use it often, actually.
Excellent, will do.
Ooh, it's 10:30. Scott's like, unbelievable, man.
Wow.
I want to touch it.
I don't know.
That's an open-end statement. Scotty, love Scotty.
I can't with this guy.
Going off the track here.
I can't with this guy. I tried so hard to like try and keep it, okay. And for once, it's not my fault.
Yeah, it's all him. It's all him.
I tell you, Scotty, you're great when you don't fall asleep, man. I tell you.
Right?
This is
Bounce back to normal.
This is a record since he's come back from to Florida. This is 2 in a row he hasn't passed out. Although
I'm telling you, man, it was rough. It was rough. That move damn near killed me.
Well, thank God it didn't kill you, Scott, because
really.
we would all have to take a trip to Florida, God forbid, to go to your funeral. So
Exactly.
Just if you're gonna die, try and die in February, right near the Winter Star Party. All right, so
I'm not inconvenience anybody.
Oh man.
To answer a comment from John G, because he was asking, really wondering what my first night's going to be like. You know what, John? It's gonna. You know what? You're going.
Give me the snake eyes.
I know exactly what it's going to be like.
Nothing is ever perfect or roses or anything like. You are going to go through certain things, not understanding, certain things. Why is this not working? Why is that not working? Am I doing this right? Am I doing that right?
Yep.
It's all a process, man. And you will. The first night's going to be a rough night, but as you progress, every following night is going to get better.
It will. It will.
It will. Trust me. Every night you keep at it. You keep learning, keep educating yourself. And the main thing is that's just like Dan says, as we close out every show, you keep, you have fun. We learn, we keep imaging, we keep learning or educating ourselves. And the main thing is to have fun, because if you're not going to have fun, why are you bothering to do this stuff? Why are you spending the money?
And write stuff down. I'll tell you. That was something I never did, and I wish I did. Like what works and what doesn't, and when it doesn't, highlight it in yellow so you don't do it again.
Absolutely. I would. You know what? Honestly, I'm terrible. I'm terrible at note taking. I really, really am, but I really should be. I do take notes. I do type them up into my OneNote in my computer, but I don't have a notebook where I should be writing this stuff down. Pete's got a library probably over there.
This is exactly. These are all the notes I take. I take exactly where I'm at, what the sky quality meter is, what the scope was, what the camera ISO was, what the temperature was, what my exposure is, and what I was actually shooting. Because I guarantee you, I've gone back 2 or 3 years. And I go, oh shit, that worked for me then. I know I can work for me now, and I guarantee you. Take notes. Believe me, take notes, have a journal. And the other thing that I can recommend is make sure you practice inside for at least a week.
At least.
At night.
At least.
Believe me, get used to your equipment so that you know it backwards. Because when it's dark outside and you don't know what you're doing, it becomes an effort and futility. Believe me.
Oh my gosh,
practice inside.
A week.
Oh my gosh. You talk about frustration.
A week. Yeah, I was messing around with my C14 for probably 3 months.
Well, you had some issues, so
no kidding.
So
and then we finally got it outside, and got it set up, and then all of a sudden the focus went completely klafooey, and we couldn't get a predictable focus routine going. I was getting these flat lines, these little tiny shallow dips. I couldn't get the focus to work, and
I remember
it was just, God, it was just one thing after another, and then going with the OAG, and we couldn't, 1 star at 2700 millimeter, 1 star,
there you go,
and it's crazy,
Oh my God.
And
So
celebrate the
using,
small
using,
wins.
you,
too.
using the wrong equipment. You learn that you're using the wrong equipment. Like, oh my
Exactly.
God. When I got my Schmidt, when I started getting back into Schmidt, and I still had all of the, I had all my guide scopes, and then I had my OAG, and then it was this little thing that wouldn't, too freaking small. Okay, and then I was using a 290, an ASI 290 too small of a pixel, too small of a sensor. And I'm trying to find guide stars, and it's driving me nuts. And then, but you know what? But that's also the fun of some of this stuff too, because you just keep banging your head against the freaking wall.
Yeah.
But
because you learn the things that work.
Yeah, you learn
and the things that don't work.
Another thing that's interesting is, and I always tell this to somebody, I said, whoever you call and whoever you use and whoever you're going to buy from, ask them to show you some of your photographs, because if they don't show you any photographs, they don't image. So if they don't image, how do they know what you're going to be getting yourself into? So you want to work with somebody that has actually got some images that you can visually see it. And I tell you what, that's the best advice that you can give people getting into the hobby, because they know exactly what you're getting yourself into, and they'll lead you down that road. Because as I said, we all know it's a rabbit hole, and it can be an expensive rabbit hole. And you want to make sure that you get the best bang for your dollar. And we've all spent money. I mean, even when I started, I spent money and I thought, wow, what did I do here? I should have just taken my time to do the research first. And when I finally reached out to Chris Hedren, I can remember Chris was my mentor, and he was absolutely just a wealth of information. But it's funny, we've all gone down that same path, and the stories we could tell.
Dennis is funny. Hobbies are supposed to be relaxing.
You can get to relaxing with this eventually.
I mean,
there's going to be huge growing pains.
That's why we keep on saying that this is not a hobby. This is a lifestyle.
It is.
So I just want to, I tried to just get something real quick, and because I just want to show how much technology has helped, as opposed to, I kept on seeing the stuff that Pete wrote regarding humidity and temperature and sunset times, and you had a whole bunch of stuff on there, Pete. So let me just show you this real quick.
So basically, it's kind of like you get set up in the late afternoon. So before the sun sets, you can start putting down these notes. And believe me, you're going to always make references back to these notes that you've made.
So this is my weather station at my house.
Show off.
It tells me everything I want to know.
So 55% humidity,
Yep. 52 degrees, 6 mile an hour winds from the west. Current barometer is 29.5. If you really want to know where I live, that's where I live. So, and this is shared online. So this is like a registered atlas. So if you just put in that weather station, that's my house. Yeah. And there you go. So, and it saves it forever. It saves a history.
I'm really trying to decide on the right weather station for me. I'm still trying to decide on if that's going to work best. But I do definitely want something that I can have that are integrate and go in, that'll be able to be shared within Weather Underground. But I just haven't decided exactly which one's the right one.
And what's really cool is that because it's shared with Weather Underground, if you're a Nina user, it will log all your temperature, your humidity, your everything onto the FITS file.
Oh, that's great. That's cool. Great.
Yeah. So what you're imaging, the humidity, the wind speed, the temperature out, the ambient temperature outside, everything for every single photo. So if all of a sudden that you see a photo that everything is wiggly, you're like, what the hell happened? And you look at a FITS file, then all of a sudden you had a 19 mile an hour gust. You'll know what happened. So you won't go crazy trying to fix PhD when there was nothing wrong with it.
Right. So. Yeah, that's one of the big issues with this passion, with this hobby, with this lifestyle, however we want to define it, is that there's so many factors involved that affect other factors, and you start building, and things they multiply on top of one another, and before you know it, you're neck deep. That's why it's so vitally important to be a part of a community. Get involved in one of your local astronomy clubs. Go. It's great to look across the camera at somebody like what we're doing here. That's fabulous. And for some of us, that's the only thing we can do. I can't drive to Dan's house, not easily,
Right.
so I rely on this medium. But there are photography clubs, and there are astrophotography clubs that you can be a part of, where you can go and you can sit in somebody's kitchen, and you can have a discussion. They can put hands-on equipment. That was one of the best things I did early on, was to get with guys at the actual observatories and let them show me some of their stuff.
Yeah.
That made a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, it really does, because you know what, and I started getting into this hobby at a time where um, astronomy wasn't cool. It was for nerds and geeks and whatever. It wasn't cool. It was for the unwanted people in the, if you were like 18 years old and you were in astronomy, there was no way you were getting a date. There was no way you were getting a date. At least not in the 80s. But whatever the case may be, it's like,
unless it was an astro chick.
well, you see, that's when I figured it out. I went to OBI, which is Oak Beach Inn, for you Long Islanders out there. You know what I'm talking about if you're as old as I am. And I took my 8-inch Schmidt and I put it right in the walkway. Let me tell you, started getting dates then. But but showing them Saturn and Jupiter and all that, the moon, and it was great. Whatever. Anyway, whatever the case may be, it's really, really important to what Scott said, that in order for you to learn, you got to be around people with knowledge. You want to be a biochemist? You hang out with biochemists. You want to be a good mechanic? You hang out with good mechanics. You want to be a good photographer? You hang out with good photographers. You're not going to become a good photographer hanging out with morons that don't know anything about photography.
Yep.
Right. You know what I mean? So go ahead, Pete. You got to say something.
Oh, no. And you brought up a good point there, Dan, because I know we've talked about it, and that brings up cloudy nights.
Oh,
and
no.
A word of caution, because we've said this, and we should probably say this. Take cloudy nights with a grain of salt, because people will post questions. You'll get every answer, from the right answer to the wrong answer to the most outrageous answer. Believe me. Take
all the way to a recipe for quiche.
Yeah, I say it all the time. You go from what's my focal length of what's my backspacing on my reducer, on my flattener, and you'll end up with the recipe for peanut butter and jelly. But it's very, very true. Now in between all of the garbage that's in there, like Pete said, there are nuggets of really, really, really good information.
Yep.
But you got to learn to disseminate the painful from the honest, true, because it can be painful, because you may be trying. Oh, I read it on cloudy nights. It works great. Yeah, no, it doesn't work. So trust, but verify. Trust but verify the information on there, and the only way that you could do that is talk to people that are in the know. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. So same thing. They knew what they were doing. That's why people listen. It's okay to get information from the internet, and Masters of Pix Insight start off there. Every single tutorial that they do, beware of false information on the internet. Because there is stuff out there that will really damage your system, or people say stuff and without knowing. If the good thing about this show is that if we don't know, we will tell you we have no idea. We don't know. The beginning of knowledge is the question, I do not know. So that's the whole thing. So we don't have the answers to everything. We like to think that we have a number of people. This is only 5 of the 9 people that are actually involved with AstroWorld. We have a plethora of people with multiple rigs and multiple information that can get us the answers a lot quicker. So feel free to email us with any questions or throw it in the chat or whatever so that you can get the answers that you want. That's another reason why we do this twice a week. Right. People need answers. It's not a Monday through Friday job, 9 to 5. It's after 8 p.m. on the weekends. I mean, that's what it is. But yeah. All right. Well, it is 10:45 anyway. I think Eric had to go to the bathroom. I actually hit the bathroom while I was off screen. I think everyone else got to go too. So I think it's time to wait for Eric to come back, and then we'll close out the show because it's getting a little late on the Eastern Coast. It's almost 11 o'clock, and I get to work tomorrow.
Before Eric even gets back, one of the if you don't have a telescope or an astrophotography rig or even just a visual telescope, my father got me started, just by laying out on a blanket, on a starry night, clear night with a pair of these,
Pinholes.
And a good set of 10 by 50s and a blanket on a warm summer night, you'd be amazed at what you can see.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, all right. So we are now at 2 hours and 59 minutes and 54 seconds. Including we have about a half an hour of glitches in there. So probably about 2 hours, 2.5 hours we're at. But why don't we just go real quick to final thoughts, and we'll close out the show, and we'll have a good weekend. How about that?
Cool.
Scott, you're on the top left now. You're first, so you get to go first. Dad. Don't.
Okay. I won't.
Behave yourself.
I won't touch it. No, but seriously, definitely keep the imagination in it. If you're not having fun, if you're not having fun doing this, it's a job. And who wants that? Yeah. Who wants that? If you're not having fun, it's a job. So get out there and explore. Let the universe fire your imagination. Yeah. Because it is vast, it is wide, it is huge, it is beyond concept, as to how big it is. And you can spend your entire life, literally your entire life, exploring it.
You may think it's a long walk to the chemist, but no, sorry. I'm sorry. I digress to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Just make sure you know where your towel is. That's all.
See what I put up every week.
Eric, you put up with it for a year.
2. I'm a glutton for punishment.
I'm telling you. It never ends here. It's all fun.
It never ends. But again, to Scott's point, if you're not having fun, then why are you doing it? But again, it's going to take time. Be patient. Always ask, keep asking questions. Keep learning. That's the coolest thing about this, is that what I love about it is that I keep learning. And the older as old as I'm not old, but the older you get, sometimes the mind goes. I really hope this, being in this is going to keep my mind working.
I hope so too.
Keep the gears going, but seriously, just get out there, get started, give it, take notes and just work off of those notes, do the best you can. And you will, the first night may not be great. The second night may not be great, but just don't give up and you will get it. And then eventually you're going to have something you're going to be really proud of to share with people. So just keep having fun and just keep at it.
Mr. Pete.
I think getting back to that idea of why we do this, because it's a challenge and we like challenges. And as Eric said, when you get to that point, you get that one image that is the keeper and you feel proud because only you know the effort, the time, and the patience that went into it to get that image. And speaking about patience, think about that patience that photon had coming from 60 million light years away, that you just happened to catch that photon on your sensor plane, and now you converted that into an image. That just blows me away that you've just caught that photon that was there when dinosaurs walked on the earth. The light left that particular source point. How do you fathom that? And that's the reason why I do this, because those images that you caught and you're putting up on your wall as a photograph, or the image that you got behind Dan, behind Eric, look at that. That is what it's all about.
Yeah. Ancient light, right, Pete? Ancient light.
Ancient light.
And don't compare what you've got going on to what everybody else is doing. You know, I mean, really, like, that is such a hard thing. I mean, there are some phenomenal photographs out there, and you know, you look at it, and when you get your first image, and you're going, you know, this doesn't look anything like this one out there. You know, that's your first astro image, and I promise you, you're going to look back at it and it's going to be awful, but you're going to love it because it's the first one you got. But, you know, the first night you're out, you might not even get an image, but if you get your camera connected and your guiding working, that's a win, you know. So celebrate those little ones, because sometimes that might be all we get, you know. But you know, I remember the first night that I got everything set up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my computer is talking to my camera and it's talking to my guide camera and everything's working. And then the clouds rolled in, but it was still a win, you know, because I'm like, I got everything going. Okay, so the next time I know what I need to do. It didn't work, but so celebrate those little things, because it's gonna come. It's a huge learning curve, and just when you think you've hit the top, guess what? It gets bigger, because you end up adding new equipment or adding a new program, or you're doing something different with it. But that's the fun of it. I mean, that's, you know, the fun of it is in the learning. I think if we ever just got to that point where it was just, you know, the same old, you know, just, you know, it just wouldn't be half as fun if it was just like, let's turn it on and take our photographs and we call it a night, you know. Now the learning and the doing and the problems and then overcoming those problems is the best part of it. One of the best parts. The picture at the end is the best part, but that will come.
Yep. That's like the first, that first image that I got with Tegan. Tegan was helping me that one night. And we finally got it to work. You know, we got the scope pointed, you know, and M51 came into view. We had a 5-minute shot, and we both looked at it. He was in Cleveland, I was in Rochester, New York, and we were looking at it together. And he's like, "Man, look at those dust lanes! 5-minute shot, first one, very first one." And I got to share it with Tegan.
That brings up a point that we talked about earlier. We have to have a posting of all of our first images.
Well, you're stealing my thunder there. I'm going to set a date right now. All right. So everybody's going to be able to judge all of our first photos. Don't show me a photo, guys and girls, of something that's like this or like that or anything. I want a real first photo, and what everybody's going to vote on: who had the worst one. Who had the worst photo? And we're going to get Tegan, we'll get Simon, we'll get Jason, we'll get Tyler, and we'll get all those guys. And you know what? I'm going to put them on the website, and I'm not going to put names on them.
Yep.
And so that the community will be able to vote for the ugliest photo.
Trust me. I can share one right now.
No, don't do it, because you won't be able to use it. You won't be able to use it then. Don't show it.
Fine, whatever.
I have one that's pretty bad. I don't know. How about this? We could show a maximum of 2 photos each. How about that? That'll make 18 photos.
Yeah.
If we get them all. That's fine. No names, no nothing. I'll even hide the Fitz header. so you can't see it. But yeah, so So we will crown the most honest astrophotographer, I'm going to call it, on April 20th. On April 20th, we will crown the most honest astrophotographer. Everybody has to have their photos submitted by April 6th. Okay?
Sure.
Cool.
Send it to me,
Let's
send
do
it to
it.
my
Yeah.
drive, and we'll do it that way. And that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep, that'll be a blast.
And here you go. Here's one. Here you go. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
But
And no Klingon photos either, right?
no Klingons. But this is only AstroWorld staff to send the pics, and the people that are watching, our viewers, will vote. So
Okay.
maybe we'll do one. We'll do one later for the if the viewers want something just for the viewers. I just think it'd be fun to make fun of us. So
Yep, I think that's a good idea, Dan. I like it.
You know, so that's going to be good. So again, and you know what? I'll even get a trophy. I'll buy a little trophy and I will ship it to whoever wins. And every year we'll do it.
We'll do it. Yeah.
The most honest astrophotographer. So
that's good.
It's going to be our Oscars, right?
Yeah.
We're going to call it our Dexter. It's our Dexters.
Our Dexter. It's the Razzie of astrophotography.
Really.
But yeah. So you know, that being said, don't forget to on a serious note, don't forget to import your astrophoto of the week for next week.
Yes.
Don't forget that. You have until I think I said 11:59 on Monday. The voting opens up at 12:01. I have this whole thing timed. It's pretty cool. So at 12:01, the voting will open up. I'll delete the one that I did today. Sorry, Dave, you don't get my vote. But you know, we'll make it flat. Everything will be cool. Just don't forget to do that and do it through the website. Import the photo. It's very, very easy. You don't have to drop it in the Google Drive or anything. It makes it very simple. Don't forget also to, if you want to join any of the raffles or giveaways, rather, don't forget to do that separately for each one that you want. We got the Eagle giveaway. We got the Camera Concepts, Woodland Hills, and Masters of Pixel Sight and IP for AP. So we got all those, and and this week sometime we'll do Jerry Valdez's. Will be up there for the free 1-year subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud, which is going to be very, very cool. What else? Anything else? Next guest. Who's our next guest? Who's our next guest? Upcoming guests. Next guest is April 6th, Bob Denny, who's going to be giving us a shout out on Alpaca. And then the 13th, Charles Bracken. And I didn't put it up there, but on May 13th, we'll have Eric Coles, who's an astrophotographer from the Astro Imaging channel. So he's going to be coming and hanging out with us as well. So we got a lot of stuff going on again. More guests are coming. A lot of cool stuff. And Scott Roberts will be on for a third time. And we'll test out the issues, and hopefully we'll have the vMix working again. So we will have a proper green room. So that being said, anything else? I think we're good, right?
I think we're good, man.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Actually, there are no stupid questions. The only stupid question is the one that isn't asked. And secondly, remember always, there are no stupid questions, only stupid people. And as always, remember, keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And we'll see you on Wednesday night. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right.
Bye for now.